I have already asked that again they have appealed before the court because CBI doesn't have any powers to investigate when it has been withdrawn. Let me see the matters in the court.
Also, sir, with respect to Tamil Nadu, they have said that they would be organizing a meet tomorrow to discuss the Cauvery issue. How do you see this?
I think I am very happy to inform you that today we are getting some good rains, good inflow is there. I think more or less we will respect the court. I think there will be no need of, we have been, though there is a shortage of 33% of water, but still the court has, the authority, as the regulatory authority has given 1 TMC of water. But as on today, from yesterday, we are getting some good inflow. Let us see.
So my final question, how prepared is the Congress to face the onslaught of the opposition with respect to the allegations?
Where is the allegation? All allegation are they have the entire allegation is on them. We will show them. It is everything has started, all irregularities have started, the BJP rule. There is nothing in our government.
Thank you so much, sir. So that was the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, talking about how prepared Congress is to face the opposition's questions here with respect to the Karnataka Assembly session today. With camera person Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
Right, and once again, the Cauvery issue simmering between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. This is after Karnataka denied Cauvery water to Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister has called a legislature party meeting. Karnataka government taking a stand against the release of Cauvery water to Tamil Nadu is strongly condemnable, is what M.K. Stalin said today when he announced the meeting of the legislative party leaders to take place tomorrow to decide on the next course of action. The Water Minister Durai Murugan will preside over this meeting, and Karnataka released only 8,000 cusecs of water, and Stalin saying the refusal violates the Supreme Court order and deceives farmers. Karnataka Agriculture Minister, however, saying that our farmers are our first priority.
Whatever take Tamil Nadu decision is taken. So our government first priority is Karnataka farmers problems sort out. So first time of last so many years, early taken decision. Already yesterday is rain is Madikeri and.
As far as Karnataka is concerned, even now as we speak, it is raining right outside. So, and I also happen to be standing at the Cauvery Basin region. And as far as this interstate issue is concerned, well, this has been one of the contentious issues. And keeping in mind the deficiency of at least around 30% when it comes to the reservoirs in Karnataka, especially with deficient rainfall as well as the heat wave, the Karnataka leaders did make a strong decision to stick with the farmers' issues here, and that is precisely why they also held an all-party meeting yesterday where they decided two things. One is to appeal before the regulatory authority to suggest that the 1 TMC demand that has been made by Tamil Nadu cannot be followed by the Karnataka government, and two is to also mention that they would be able to release around 8,000 cusecs of water. Remember, 1 TMC translates to around 11,500 cusecs of water, but then instead of that they would be willing to spare around 8,000 cusecs of water is what they've said. But why is there a good news? The last 2 days there's been heavy rainfall in some of the regions in the Cauvery Basin, which has led to 96% as far as the Kabini Reservoir is concerned, and 20,000 cusecs have flowed from the Kabini Reservoir to Tamil Nadu. Now, keeping all of this in mind, perhaps there would be a solution in the days to come is what the Karnataka government leaders are hoping for at this point in time.
And the Karnataka Assembly session began today, and a political face-off also with the BJP earlier today staging a protest from the adjacent building to the Vidhan Saudha and also a march. The BJP has said that they'll settle for nothing short of a CBI probe in the alleged Muda scam, a day after the Congress government announced a judicial probe into the matter. The opposition also moved a plea for a discussion on the Valmiki alleged scam. All this while the Congress terms it a political drama playing out by the opposition. Earlier we spoke with Vijayendra Yediyurappa, the BJP president of Karnataka, as he was on that protest march.
We have with us Karnataka BJP chief, Mr. Vijayendra. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. Sir, with respect to the judicial inquiry that has been set up by the Karnataka government on the Moto scandal.
See, Bharatiya Janata Party has been demanding CBI probe in the alleged Moto scam. So nothing less than CBI inquiry. Even today, because yesterday government has constituted an inquiry committee by a retired High Court judge, but will not accept this. We will demand for CBI inquiry.
So the Karnataka Assembly session begins today. So what is mainly on your agenda, both Valmiki as well as Moto?
See, number of corruption scandals has come to limelight. So Bharatiya Janata Party has taken up this issue from last 20-25 days. We will continue to do that today. We will raise this issue on the floor of the House.
So also with respect to the Cauvery issue, how do you see this? Are you in line with the Karnataka government's decision of appealing before the CWMA?
See, Karnataka government has to appeal, but they have to appeal effectively by keeping the good advocates. And secondly, during the last season also, the state government has failed in protecting the interest of our farmers in Mysore region. But yesterday, we have demanded Chief Minister not to, we have demanded Chief Minister to take up this issue seriously and protect the interest of the farmers in Cauvery Basin.
My final question, sir. Will you not relent until Chief Minister resigns?
That question will not arise at all. Chief Minister is bound to hand over the investigation of Moto scam to CBI and will be forced to resign. He will be forced to resign.
Thank you so much, sir. So that was Mr. Vijayendra claiming that Chief Minister Siddaramaiah will be forced to resign, especially with the kind of protests that have been staged by the BJP here. With camera person Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
See, we have called session. They have every opportunity to discuss on the floor of the House. Instead of that, if they are making a walk from LH to Vidhan Sauda or this type of protesting thing, that will not really honor the forums that are created. Assembly and council is on. They can take the opportunity to discuss on the floor of the House.
We have formed a single bench for the Moto issue as well. So whatever concerns the BJP has, let them raise it in the assembly with documents. If you are going to cry horse in public, what is it? They are demanding for the CM resignation. Sorry? They are demanding for let them demand CM resignation. Let them put the documents on the floor of the House and discuss it. Who's saying no? Who's saying no, we are not ready to discuss it?
With that, time for us to slip into a short break. News and updates continue on the other side. Stay with us.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
The biggest democratic exercise in the world. Team NDTV covers it from ground zero.
BJP really had to fight a tough election this time.
Unprecedented exercise. Unmatched coverage.
There is no dispute. जनता को decide करना है.
From polling to counting, NDTV brought you the most trustworthy news and updates.
Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar speaks exclusively to NDTV. D.K. Shivakumar questions the CBI action against him. He has also rubbished allegations against Chief Minister of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah, over the Muda scam controversy. Karnataka, Tamil Nadu war water simmers again. Karnataka denies Tamil Nadu Cauvery water as mandated by court. Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin, has called for an all-party meeting tomorrow. Tamil Nadu meeting will be to decide the next course of action. Karnataka has said that the state's first priority will be farmers. After an FIR was registered against parents of trainee IAS officer Puja for allegedly threatening farmers, Pune police now say that the accused are on the run and have switched off their mobile phones. Pakistan will ban former Prime Minister Imran Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party. In fact, the country's information minister has said this over anti-state activities. Donald Trump assassination probe. FBI says shooter's motives are not clear. FBI probes co-conspirator angle, though initial leads indicate shooter was acting alone. FBI has also said the assault rifle was purchased legally. Donald Trump recalls rally attack in latest interview. He said, and I quote, "I'm supposed to be dead," Donald Trump tells US media. Trump, in fact, has commended the Secret Service personnel. Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar has spoken exclusively to NDTV on the acid case. D.K. Shivakumar has said that this is unfair action and he will look at legal options. Additionally, D.K. Shivakumar has also rubbished allegations against Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Where is the allegation? Where is the allegation that happened during BJP's time? We will face all the charges. That is what he has told NDTV.
We have with us the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. So with respect to the case, the Supreme Court has dismissed the petition. Do you see this as a setback?
See, what to do? Everyone knows how political vindictive my issues have been going on. When the BJP government was there in the state, they gave a permission and registered an FIR. I asked the FIR to be squashed, but they said that they can't squash the FIR, but at the same time here Karnataka government has withdrawn the permission given to the CBI and handed over the case to Lokayukta. And Lokayukta also is investigating and CBI is also investigating. That is unfair. I have already asked that again they have appealed before the court because CBI doesn't have any powers to investigate when it has been withdrawn. Let me see the matters in the court.
Also, sir, with respect to Tamil Nadu, they have said that they would be organizing a meet tomorrow to discuss the Cauvery issue. How do you see this?
I think I am very happy to inform you that today we are getting some good rains, good inflow is there. I think more or less we will respect the court. I think there will be no need of we have been, though there is a shortage of 33% of water, but still the court has, the authority, the regulatory authority has given 1 TMC of water. But as on today, from yesterday, we are getting some good inflow. Let us see.
So my final question, how prepared is the Congress to face the onslaught of the opposition with respect to the allegations?
Where is the allegation? All allegation are there. The entire allegation is on them. We will show them. It is everything has started. All irregularities have started. The BJP rule. There is nothing in our government.
Thank you so much, sir. So that was the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, talking about how prepared Congress is to face the opposition's questions here with respect to the Karnataka Assembly session today. With camera person Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV. Multiple issues that has set off a political face-off between the Congress as well as the BJP, but definitely not good news for the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka here with respect to the disproportionate assets case. He did knock the doors of the High Court in October last year, and which rejected his plea at that point in time, and now the Supreme Court also dismissing the petition that has been filed by him. And Mr. D.K. Shivakumar did go on to mention that he would be looking at the legal options to fight this, at the same time claiming that this is definitely an unfair means of having two parallel investigations taking place at the same time. One is led by the CBI and the other by the Lokayukta. Remember, the Karnataka government had earlier withdrawn its consent that was given to the CBI, and the matter is still sub judice because the CBI has challenged this along with one of the key BJP leaders here who's challenged this. Both the matters are being taken up by the Karnataka High Court at this point in time. While the politics of that is set aside, we also have to look at the Muda allegations and the Cauvery matter that have been simmering, especially with respect to the two states of Karnataka as well as Tamil Nadu here. But then, of course, with respect to the Cauvery issue, there seems to be some kind of a reprieve because there are good rains that have been setting all the reservoirs full, and most of the water has been released to Tamil Nadu is one of the statements that has been made by Mr. D.K. Shivakumar there. But as far as the allegations are concerned, well, the second half of the Karnataka Assembly session should actually give us some idea of the kind of political turmoil that is set to kick off with respect to both the ruling as well as the opposition here. Well, I have with me the BJP MLA here, senior BJP MLA Mr. Ashwath Narayan. Let me see if I can get a quick word from him. But before that, yes, all eyes are on the assembly session today because there were protests that kick-started in the morning that was set off by the BJP. However, that is Mr. Ashwath Narayan walking away. But yes, all eyes are on the second half of the session today.
Karnataka has denied one TMC Cauvery water to Tamil Nadu. Remember, this is part of the long-standing debate between both states. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has in fact called for an all-party meeting tomorrow. Karnataka government has also taken a stand against the release of Cauvery water to Tamil Nadu. It has in fact condemned statements that are coming from Tamil Nadu. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin of Tamil Nadu has said on Monday that he will convene a meeting of legislative party leaders on the 16th of July to decide the next course of action in the interstate river dispute. This is a key Tamil Nadu meeting on Cauvery watershed that will happen tomorrow. Water Minister of Tamil Nadu, Durai Murugan, who is from the DMK, is supposed to preside over this meeting, and this meeting will be held to decide the DMK and the Tamil Nadu state government's next course of action. But Karnataka has decided that it will release only 8,000 cusecs of water. It has cited bad rainfall, poor rainfall as part of the southwest monsoon, which is what the state receives. Chief Minister Stalin of Tamil Nadu, however, has said that this refusal violates the Supreme Court order and it also deceives farmers. D.K. Shivakumar, on the other hand, the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, has said that the situation is expected to get better soon. Siddaramaiah has said that farmers are the biggest priority of the state government of Karnataka. That is what the Agriculture Minister has said today.
Whatever take Tamil Nadu decision is taken. So our government first priority is Karnataka farmers problems sort out. So first time of last so many years early taken decision. Already yesterday is rain is Madikeri and
as far as Karnataka is concerned, even now as we speak, it is raining right outside. So, and I also happen to be standing at the Cauvery Basin region. And as far as this interstate issue is concerned, well, this has been one of the contentious issues. And keeping in mind the deficiency of at least around 30% when it comes to the reservoirs in Karnataka, especially with deficient rainfall as well as the heat wave, the Karnataka leaders did make a strong decision to stick with the farmers' issues here. And that is precisely why they also held an all-party meeting yesterday where they decided two things. One is to appeal before the regulatory authority to suggest that the 1 TMC demand that has been made by Tamil Nadu cannot be followed by the Karnataka government. And two is to also mention that they would be able to release around 8,000 cusecs of water. Remember, 1 TMC translates to around 11,500 cusecs of water. But then instead of that, they would be willing to spare around 8,000 cusecs of water is what they've said. But why is there a good news? The last 2 days, there's been heavy rainfall in some of the regions in the Cauvery Basin, which has led to 96% as far as the Kabini Reservoir is concerned. And 20,000 cusecs have flowed from the Kabini Reservoir to Tamil Nadu. Now, keeping all of this in mind, perhaps there would be a solution in the days to come is what the Karnataka government leaders are hoping for at this point in time.
I have my colleague Sam Daniel joining us from Chennai. Sam, tell us what exactly is the all-party meeting that is expected to happen tomorrow? What is it going to achieve? Because this has been a long-standing debate, 150 years. There have been several meetings. It is an emotive issue. Karnataka has made it very clear that the monsoons have been very poor, and Tamil Nadu still can wait for the northeast monsoon, but Tamil Nadu is worried about its Cauvery or the short-term crops. Tell us, what are the various aspects of this issue that the DMK is confident that it will be able to sort out tomorrow?
Well, they would actually highlight the fact that the Supreme Court has clearly given a formula in terms of sharing of waters by Karnataka, Cauvery waters to Tamil Nadu, during normal times and during times when there is a deficit. And it's on that basis the recent Cauvery water regulatory body had directed Karnataka to release 1 TMC of water till 31st of July to comply with that formula. And taking into account the storage levels in Karnataka dams and also the forecast by Met in terms of a likely normal rainfall. And already Tamil Nadu has lost the Cauvery crop, 5.7 lakh acres were lost, and now farmers are working for the summer crop that will be on a total of 9 lakh acres. And if this is not done, then it will be a double whammy of sorts for farmers in Tamil Nadu. It's in that context they would highlight perhaps what Karnataka has been violating both the Cauvery Water Regulatory Authority and largely the Supreme Court order. And they may come out with perhaps a recommendation to approach the Supreme Court asking for a direction. But all these could change if the rains continue in Karnataka, Vasudha, because already indications are Karnataka over the last 2 days have been receiving good rainfall. And beyond a point, Karnataka cannot say no, because once their reservoirs are full, then they would automatically be forced to open their reservoirs and let waters to Tamil Nadu. That's what another possibility. And Tamil Nadu cannot be seen to be quietly accepting what Karnataka has said for political reasons. But the larger question is how Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu's view, time and again cites inadequate rainfall and doesn't comply with the deficit formula clearly spelled out by the Cauvery Tribunal, later upheld by the Supreme Court, and often treats, in their view, Tamil Nadu as a drainage system to release waters only when their dams are full, and not really being concerned about the plight of the lower riparian state farmers.
Right. Thank you, Sam Daniel, for joining us with those details. So critically, everything depends on the kind of rainfall that Karnataka continues to get, and that will also probably decide on the future of this long-standing debate. Moving on to other stories from the south of India. As the assembly session began in Karnataka today, political face-off kick-started with the BJP staging a protest from the legislature house to the Vidhan Sauda today. In fact, the BJP has said that the party would settle for nothing short of a CBI probe in the alleged Muda scam.
a day after the Congress government announced a judicial probe into this matter. In fact, the opposition has also moved a plea for a Valmiki discussion. All this while the Congress terms it a political drama played out by the opposition. Question hour is scheduled for the second half and the day is yet to end. So we will, of course, there is chaos and that continues over this issue, which has actually put the ruling party in the dock.
We have with us Karnataka BJP Chief, Mr. Vijayendra. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. Sir, with respect to the judicial inquiry that has been set up by the Karnataka government on the Moda scandal.
See, Bharatiya Janata Party has been demanding CBI probe in the alleged Moda scam. So nothing less than CBI inquiry. Even today, because yesterday government has constituted an inquiry committee by a retired High Court judge, but will not accept this. We will demand for CBI inquiry.
So the Karnataka Assembly session begins today. So what is mainly on your agenda, both Valmiki as well as Moda?
See, number of corruption scandals has come to limelight. So Bharatiya Janata Party has taken up this issue from last 20-25 days. We will continue to do that today. We will raise this issue on the floor of the House.
So also with respect to the Cauvery issue, how do you see this? Are you in line with the Karnataka government's decision of appealing before the CWMA?
See, Karnataka government has to appeal, but they have to appeal effectively by keeping the good advocates. And secondly, during the last season also, the state government has failed in protecting the interest of our farmers in Mysore region. But yesterday, we have demanded Chief Minister not to, we have demanded Chief Minister to take up this issue seriously and protect the interests of the farmers in Cauvery Basin.
My final question, sir. Will you not relent until Chief Minister resigns?
That question will not arise at all. Chief Minister is bound to hand over the investigation of Moda scam to CBI and will be forced to resign. He will be forced to resign.
Thank you so much, sir. So that was Mr. Vijayendra claiming that Chief Minister Siddaramaiah will be forced to resign, especially with the kind of protests that have been staged by the BJP here. With camera person Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
See, we have called session. They have every opportunity to discuss on the floor of the House. Instead of that, if they are making a walk from LH to Vidhan Soda or this type of protesting thing, that will not really honor the forums that are created. Assembly and council is on. They can take the opportunity to discuss on the floor of the House.
We have formed a single bench judge for the Moda issue as well. So whatever concerns the BJP has, let them raise it in the assembly with documents. If you are going to cry horse in public, what is it? They are demanding for the CM resignation. Sorry? They are demanding for Let them demand CM resignation. Let them put the documents on the floor of the House and discuss it. Who's saying no? Who's saying no? We are not ready to discuss it.
Time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Friends, it's time now for my favorite bit और ये है Ask TG. Basically the segment जहाँ पे मैं आपके सवालों के जवाब देता हूँ जो आपने पूछे होते हैं all across sending your emails on social media. तो हमारी टीम सब कुछ पिक कर लेती है and हर वीक मुझे मौका मिलता है आपके सवालों के जवाब देने का. Let's see the kind of questions we have this week and if I'm prepared for all the answers or not. Okay, so I'll give you first initial response, which is कि if everything is okay, मतलब आप जो earphones यूज कर रहे हैं 3 से 4 घंटे के लिए, और अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम आप फेस नहीं कर रहे हैं in terms of audio या मे बी comfort, अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है तो मे बी यू कैन कंटिन्यू द सेम वे, आपको बोन कंडीशन की तरफ जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. बट या तो आप नया कुछ ट्राई करना चाहते हैं इसलिए जाना चाहते हैं बोन कंडीशन की तरफ, या फिर अगर आपको लगता है कि मे बी यू आर नॉट फीलिंग कंफर्टेबल एंड बोन कंडीशन कुड बी अ गुड आंसर, तो येस यू कैन ट्राई. बेसिकली ये टेक्नोलॉजी जो है इट वर्क्स वाया वाइब्रेशंस. तो ये जो आपकी बोन्स हैं यहाँ पे, इन पे जब वाइब्रेशन पड़ता है तो बेसिकली यू हियर द ऑडियो स्ट्रेट फ्रॉम योर इनर ईयर्स, बट आपके कान के अंदर आपने कुछ नहीं लगाया होता है. तो विच सिंपली मीन्स कि आपको आपके आसपास की सराउंडिंग की आवाज भी आने वाली है. एंड द साउंड इज नॉट रियली टू थम्पी और बेसी, आई वुड से. मतलब अगर आप म्यूजिक एंजॉय करते हैं फॉर एग्जांपल यूजिंग योर ईयरफोन्स, तो योर एक्सपीरियंस इज वेरी इमर्सिव. लेकिन ओपन ईयर स्टाइल में या बोन कंडीशन जिनको हम बोलते हैं, आपको इतना ज़्यादा इमर्सिव एक्सपीरियंस नहीं मिलेगा, बट एट द सेम टाइम यू वुड बी अवेयर ऑफ योर सराउंडिंग्स एज वेल. और आपको जो आवाज है इट्स अ डिफरेंट सेंसेशन, यू विल बी हियरिंग स्ट्रेट टू योर इनर ईयर्स. अगर हम बात करते हैं ब्रांड्स या प्राइस पॉइंट की, आई वुड से शॉग्स इज अ रियली गुड.
Welcome back. There's more controversy in the trainee IS officer Puja Khedkar's case involving her family. This is after an FIR was registered against her parents for allegedly threatening a farmer. Now, Pune police has said that the accused are on the run and have switched off their mobile phones. Remember, Manorama and Dilip Khedkar were booked based on the complaint by a farmer, a local who claimed that he was being threatened by Manorama Khedkar, the probationary IS officer's mother. A video of the mother brandishing a gun had also gone viral on social media. I have my colleague Paras, who has been tracking this case for a while now. Paras, tell us, what is the latest on this?
So there is a major development which has happened in this entire matter. So Puja Khedkar had applied for the disability certificate in a hospital, and this is the third time when she has applied. Apart from Ahmednagar in Maharashtra, she has also applied for disability medical certificate in Audh in Pune. At that time, the hospital has rejected the application on the basis of document that came into the light. She got her medical checkup done on 23 August 2022, and on 11th October 2022 the hospital rejected the application. So this is a major development which has happened in this entire matter. On the other hand, the FIR was launched again the Manorama Khedkar, the mother of Puja Khedkar, in a viral video matter where she was flaunting a gun and trying to threat a farmer in Pune village area. So in this entire matter, a so-called notice was served by the Pune Police Commissioner asking her to give answer in 10 days why she was flaunting the gun. On the one hand, the gun was licensed, but if she will be not able to give answer on the so-called notice, in 10 days her license will be cancelled. The gun license will be cancelled. And now, from yesterday evening only, Dilip Khedkar, the father of Puja Khedkar, and the mother, Manorama Khedkar, both of them phones are switched off. So Pune local police and Pune crime branch has formed 3 teams, and they are searching for them. One team has moved to Mumbai, one is in Pune, and one has moved to Ahmednagar, and they are searching for them. Now, the Pune traffic police has also asked Puja Khedkar to come to Pune traffic police station and submit the documents of the car on which she has put a beacon and a sticker of Maharashtra Sarkar. The car has been already seized by Pune traffic police, but now Puja Khedkar has been called to Pune traffic police station and answer about all the questions which will be asked by the Pune traffic police. So in this entire matter, the problems of Khedkar family is increasing every passing day, and it will be very important to see what all action will be done by Pune crime branch and the Pune local police, because the so-called notice has been given by the Pune police commissioner to Manorama Khedkar regarding the gun that she was flaunting in front of farmers, and she was trying to threaten them.
Right. Paras, also tell us, has there been any response from the family side? Because some hours ago, we did see the father come out and defend his daughter's decision to use the siren and also the Maharashtra government sticker and also VVIP number plates. Has there been any response from the other side?
As of now, there is no response from the family because the phone of both parents are off and they are not meeting anyone, and that's why the Pune Police and Crime Branch has formed 3 teams to find them. Where are they? Because there are many questions that has to be answered by the parents of Puja Khedkar also, because there are many allegations put on them of threatening farmers, misusing the public properties, misusing the government properties, government cars and all that stuff. So there are many questions which has to be asked by the Pune police to Khedkar family, but they are right now not able to answer any calls. The phones are switched off, so that's why Pune police has formed 3 teams which are searching for them.
Thank you, Paras Dama, for joining us with those details. We'll keep coming back to you if you're tracking that story. Thank you so much, and time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Get ready for the ride of your life. NDTV brings you the NDTV Auto Show with me, Mugdha Mishra. From the fastest supercars to the sleekest new energy vehicles to your trusted daily ride, we cover it all. Every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and Sunday at 8:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7. Your next great escape starts here. It's Modi 3.0 government's first budget. On today's show, we focus on what lies ahead for taxpayers. We get you wish list of the salaried class and the potential tax reforms they can expect. Watch NDTV's pre-budget series, Budget of Hope, today at 6:30 p.m.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News App. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
This is about Samsung smartphones, and Samsung smartphones, I'm sure the user base is huge. तो हो सकता है आपके पास या आपके किसी फैमिली मेंबर के पास भी Samsung का फोन हो. All you need to do is to just punch in a very secret code, as this code is *#0*#. The moment you put it into your dialer, आपके सामने एक अलग menu open हो जाएगा. And guys, this is a very in-depth diagnostic menu for Samsung smartphones. ये
Welcome back. Former US President Donald Trump landed in Milwaukee on Sunday for the Republican National Convention a little more than 24 hours after he was wounded in a failed assassination attempt. Now, he's scheduled to address the convention on Thursday. Meanwhile, the Secret Service has said that it doesn't plan to change the security plan for the convention. In an interview with the New York Post, after surviving the assassination attempt, Donald Trump said that he isn't supposed to be here and that he is supposed to be dead. In fact, that's what he said today. The shooting left one bystander dead, 2 wounded, and Trump himself was nicked in the ear. On the probe front, FBI's investigation so far has indicated that the shooter acted alone. The motive is still not clear. A probe is on to decide if there were any more co-conspirators. The FBI has also said that the assault rifle was purchased legally. In fact, the shooter, Thomas Crooks, was not known to FBI prior to this incident. FBI has also said that explosive devices found in Crooks' car and his home in Pennsylvania have been also rendered safe. In fact, Trump also recalled the rally attack and he said, and I quote, "I'm supposed to be dead." This is what Donald Trump told New York Post today. Donald Trump has commended the Secret Service personnel and he said that they did a terrific job. In fact, he also said, and I quote, "Just wanted to keep speaking, but I got shot." My colleague Maria Shakil spoke to Ian Bremmer, US political scientist, and this is what he said. What implications do you think the attempted assassination of Donald Trump will have on the political landscape of the United States in the short term and also in the long term?
A couple of things in the short term. First, it is a boost to Trump. The fact that he stood up immediately after being shot with blood on his face, with a fist raised, and said, "Fight, fight, fight." That is an iconic image that I think will go down in history in the United States, but certainly will be replayed over and over and over again across the media and by Trump and his supporters and his campaign itself. It will strengthen support for Trump individually. The Make America Great Again, MAGA movement is very much not just a populist movement, but also has a level of reverence for the individual of Donald Trump. That will get stronger. He will appear in Milwaukee on Monday at the Republican National Convention as Lazarus risen. And there will be incredible support. It certainly makes it more likely that he wins the presidency in the U.S. On the Democratic side, it makes it less likely that Biden stands down. There's been a lot of pressure. It's dominated the news cycles for 2 weeks now since a disastrous debate that Biden had against Trump. There was a lot of internal opposition in the Democratic Party against Biden. That is now off the headlines in the most tragic way possible. Biden had not been inclined to personally step down, but everyone around him was telling him they needed to. Now he has more time to resist that. The story has moved elsewhere. If he wants to stay, he's more likely to be able to stay. So in the near term, those are the political implications. There's also, of course, the potential for much more violence, much more social instability at a time when Americans are highly polarized and are being fed enormous amounts of disinformation about treating their political opponents as enemies to democracy in the United States. And that's, of course, part of why we are in the environment that we are today.
And Mr. Brahma, since you speak about polarization, how do you think this event will impact what is evident polarization and division within the American society, and what are likely to be a potential geopolitical consequences?
Well, what it needs to happen is a 9/11 type response where the United States rallies together and denounces political violence of all sorts and does so together as one united American people. What I fear is going to happen is much more like January 6th, where for a couple of days and weeks, a lot of Americans were denouncing violence, and you saw Democrats and Republicans saying this is horrible, this is not tolerable, we need to move past this together as a nation and rebuild. But very quickly, January 6th became a threat to democracy for Democrats, but for Republicans, these were patriots who should be lionized and are heroes. And I fear that while today there is a large amount of outrage across the political spectrum, that it will be weaponized in short order.
Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden has sent out a message of unity a day after his rival predecessor Donald Trump survived an assassination attempt, calling on the nation to lower the temperature of hostile politics. In fact, this was a rare Oval Office address on Sunday. Joe Biden maintained that fellow Americans are not enemies but friends and co-workers who must stand together despite disagreements.
My fellow Americans, I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics. And to remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. We're neighbors, we're friends, co-workers, citizens, and most importantly, we're fellow Americans. We must stand together. Yesterday's shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania calls on all of us to take a step back, take stock of where we are, how we go forward from here. Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously injured. I spoke with him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers.
Now in Milwaukee for the Republican convention, the Secret Service has said that it doesn't plan to change the security plan for the convention.
This is a national special security event. That designation is the highest level of security designation that the federal government can determine. So we are confident in these security plans that are in place for this event, and we're ready to go. It's been an 18-month process. We've worked together over that 18 months to develop operational security plans for any and all aspects of security related to this event.
I think the biggest concern is the one that President Biden raised. America is really on a knife edge of being torn apart. The levels of hatred just run very deep, and we see so much advocacy of political violence. To be honest, virtually all of it coming from the political right. Elected officials, Republican Party officials, including the former president himself, have been essentially advocating political violence. And as President Biden made very clear, this has got to stop. The shooter was himself a Republican, but we should not read a partisan lean into this. We do not know his motives. We do know that elected officials have been advocating political violence and must stop.
From the US to some news from the neighborhood, Pakistan will ban former Prime Minister Imran Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party. This is what the country's information minister has said. The PTI is Pakistan's biggest opposition party, according to Pakistani media. The Pakistan Minister for Information and Broadcasting has announced in a press conference today that a decision has been made to ban the PTI, and the government will refer the case to the Supreme Court. I have my colleague Mohammad Ghazali joining us with more details on this. Ghazali, when the elections happened, we did see that a lot of independents of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party that is headed by Imran Khan actually, won, and they won with huge margins, and that was really sort of like not really expected. Tell us, what is the basis for this decision that the government is citing to ban the party?
See, the Ataullah Tarar, the Pakistan's information minister, was quoted saying in the media that they have got ample evidence to sort of ban Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party of Imran Khan. And there is going to be a very long legal battle for Imran Khan, who has been behind the bars for a year or so after the elections. His party was also not allowed to campaign freely. And even now, this entire statement from the Pakistan's minister has come at a time when Supreme Court has also given relief to Mr. Khan and his party for having some reserved seat in the National Assembly, which makes them the largest party. So this certainly comes from the fact that despite all the forces from the government trying to curtail the movement or say the growth of Tehreek-e-Insaf party in Pakistan, despite that the Tehreek-e-Insaf party leaders or Imran Khan's party's leadership is saying that perhaps it is the growing popularity of the party due to which the government there is wary of them, and that is why they want to book more cases against not only Khan because he's already behind the bars, but they also want to ban their party so that it can't contest any more elections even at the provincial level.
Right. Ghazali, also tell us, has it been in the traditions of political traditions of Pakistan to to punish opposition leaders, because we've seen them either going on exile or being jailed? And what does this mean for Imran Khan? Is this the end of the political road for him?
See, political observers or old-time watchers of Pakistan affairs say that you can't write him off, because even when he was put in the jail for the first time, when he was not even allowed to come outside and campaign, and his supporters were campaigning through social media, even that was curtailed. But despite that, they have the party's performance in that elections was remarkable, and that is certainly something which is a matter of worry for the incumbent government there. So even now, when more cases will be slapped against him or his party, or even if his party is banned, that will also go through the legal route, because certainly the Tehreek-e-Insaf party leadership will contest it in the Supreme Court once the ban order is issued, because right now it's just a statement from the information minister. He has not shared any evidence or even a timeline that by when the party's ban orders will be issued and on what evidences they have gathered based on which this ban will be imposed on Tehreek-e-Insaf party as a political party which is engaged in anti-national activities. And to say that Imran Khan's career will have a fall, he is already behind behind the bars, and despite that the party has done well in the elections. So certainly not a time to say that this ban may impact him further, but may perhaps his party leadership or his party will gain more popularity or sympathy after the ban order comes into force.
Right. Thank you so much, Ghazali, for joining us with those details. Mohammad Ghazali joining us with all those details on political developments in Pakistan. Time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News App. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the topmost news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
जब सैमसंग की शुरुआत हुई इन द ईयर 1938, सैमसंग ने तब इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स वगैरह बनाना स्टार्ट नहीं किया था. इट वॉजंट टिल ईयर 1969 कि सैमसंग इस फील्ड में आया. अब आप सोच रहे हैं कि उससे पहले सैमसंग क्या करता था? तो लेट मी टेल यू, सैमसंग ने बहुत ही हम्बल बिगिनिंग्स के साथ अपनी शुरुआत की थी. बेसिकली दे वर इनटू शुगर रिफाइनिंग, टू टेक्सटाइल्स, हम बात करते हैं वेजिटेबल्स की या फिर फ्लावर की या फिर इनफैक्ट इवन नूडल्स. Yes, you heard it right, noodles. Samsung ने बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ें ट्राई करी and eventually in the year 1969 they entered into the space for electronics, जहाँ पे Samsung ने फिर बाद में ब्रेक नहीं लगाए. We got refrigerators, TVs, radios, smartphones and today you know Samsung is so big कि Samsung बहुत कुछ बनाता है. In fact, Burj Khalifa was also made by the Samsung group. और आज मुझे लगता है कि almost every household has at least one Samsung product or maybe a product जिसमें अंदर कोई Samsung का component लगा होगा. This is how huge Samsung.
Welcome back. There's an update in the Delhi hospital. Remember, a 32-year-old man was shot dead by an 18-year-old in the GTB hospital in Dilshad Garden. 2 accused have now been arrested. Remember, police had earlier said that this was a case of mistaken identity. Now the cops have said that the accused are a part of a criminal gang. I have my colleague Tanushka joining us with more details. Tanushka, what is the latest on this? Because clearly this was quite a horrifying murder happening. This happening in the capital city is quite shocking. What is the police saying now?
Exactly, Vasudha, and it's not just, the fact that it happened in broad daylight in such a busy hospital. And right now what the Delhi police is saying is that 2 people have been arrested, 2 of the accused have been arrested, and one person who was admitted in the same hospital, in the same ward, has told the police that, there's some rivalry with a gang by the name of Hasim Baba gang. And these persons came to kill him, but the killed person admitted. And, they had come to kill the person lying on the bed opposite to the person who was actually killed. So after this, of course, police investigation ensued and CCTV footage was checked and investigated. And based on that, the police got hold of, one suspect by the name of Faiz, who's a resident of Loni, Ghaziabad. And on interrogation, after apprehending this accused, who's a 20-year-old, it was found out that, all the other accused in the gang gang as well are also residents of Loni, and they were also tracked down. And they all belong to this one gang. So they were essentially given, the information to kill someone else. But as the police has said that this was a murder of mistaken identity. This gang rivalry had come into the hospital to kill someone who was on the opposite bed of ward number 24 of GTB hospital, but ended up killing someone else who had nothing to do with this case. And a life has been lost. There's, of course, questions on security of the hospital. And two of the accused who have been arrested are also, 18-year-olds and 20-year-olds. So this is what has conspired ever since yesterday. This person who was shot dead in broad daylight was at 4 p.m. yesterday. And today, by now, the police have made 2 arrests in the firing case.
Right. Tanushka, also tell us a little bit about the accused and also the victim here, because the deceased has been identified as Riazuddin, somebody who was admitted in the hospital on the 23rd of June. He had stomach infection. He has been recovering since then, but now, of course, he has died. Tell us, what do we know about the victim and the accused, and how are the family members looking at something like this? Because clearly this, like you reported, was a case of mistaken identity.
Exactly. So the deceased, who was admitted since June 23rd, was admitted in a case of stomach infection and was undergoing treatment. They came from really marginal backgrounds, and the mother of the deceased has, of course, spoken to us and cried out, saying that her son has not been able to work since, the past 8 years. So they've also been unemployed. They come from a very marginal labor background family. They're daily wage earners. So at this point, something like this happening to this sort of a family is completely not just unexpected, but also really tragic. And what we know about the accused is that these are, says like the first person who was apprehended and his 2 brothers used to meet this other person who works directly for the Hasim Baba gang. Right. And so all of these people, were like part of this gang, and they interacted with each other, mostly based and living in Loni, and they were also arrested from there. So these are boys in concern here working with this gang, and part of a gang rivalry that went wrong clearly because they got the wrong person.
Right. Thank you, Tanushka, for joining us with those details. This is regarding the gruesome murder of a patient that took place in GTB Hospital in Dilshad Garden in New Delhi. In fact, 2 accused have been arrested now by the police. Moving on to some news from the south of India, DK Shivakumar, the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, spoke exclusively to NDTV on the assets case. In fact, DK Shivakumar has said that the action against him is unfair and he will look at legal options now. Additionally, he also rubbished allegations against Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah on the Muda scam controversy allegations. He said that whatever charges are there during the BJP's time have been ignored now, and whatever the charges the Congress party is facing, the party will face them.
We have with us the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. DK Shivakumar. So thank you so much for joining us. So with respect to the case, the Supreme Court has dismissed the petition. Do you see this as a setback?
See, what to do? Everyone knows how political vindictive my issues have been going on. When the BJP government was there in the state, they gave a permission and registered an FIR. I asked the FIR to be squashed, but they said that they can't squash the FIR, but at the same time here Karnataka government has withdrawn the permission given to the CBI and handed over the case to Lokayukta. And Lokayukta also is investigating, and CBI is also investigating. That is unfair. I have already asked that again they have appealed before the court because CBI doesn't have any powers to investigate when it has been withdrawn. Let me see the matters in the court.
Also, sir, with respect to Tamil Nadu, they have said that they would be organizing a meet tomorrow to discuss the Cauvery issue. How do you see this?
I think I am very happy to inform you that today we are getting some good rains, good inflow is there. I think more or less we will respect the court. I think there will be no need of, we have been, though there is a shortage of 33% of water, but still the court has, the authority, the regulatory authority has given 1 TMC of water. But as on today, from yesterday, we are getting some good inflow. Let us see.
So my final question, how prepared is the Congress to face the onslaught of the opposition with respect to the allegations?
Where is the allegation? All allegation are there. The entire allegation is on them. We will show them. It is everything has started. All irregularities have started. The BJP rule. There is nothing in our government.
Thank you so much, sir. So that was the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, talking about how prepared Congress is to face the opposition's questions here with respect to the Karnataka Assembly session today. With camera person Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV. Multiple issues that has set off a political face-off between the Congress as well as the BJP, but definitely not good news for the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka here with respect to the disproportionate assets case. He did knock the doors of the High Court in October last year, and which rejected his plea at that point in time, and now the Supreme Court also dismissing the petition that has been filed by him. And Mr. D.K. Shivakumar did go on to mention that he would be looking at the legal options to fight this, at the same time claiming that this is definitely an unfair means of having two parallel investigations taking place at the same time. One is led by the CBI and the other by the Lokayukta. Remember, the Karnataka government had earlier withdrawn its consent that was given to the CBI, and the matter is still sub judice because the CBI has challenged this along with one of the key BJP leaders here who's challenged this. Both the matters are being taken up by the Karnataka High Court at this point in time. While the politics of that is set aside, we also have to look at the Muda allegations and the Cauvery matter that have been simmering, especially with respect to the two states of Karnataka as well as Tamil Nadu here. But then, of course, with respect to the Cauvery issue, there seems to be some kind of a reprieve because there are good rains that have been setting all the reservoirs full, and most of the water has been released to Tamil Nadu is one of the statements that has been made by Mr. D.K. Shivakumar there. But as far as the allegations are concerned, well, the second half of the Karnataka Assembly session should actually give us some idea of the kind of political turmoil that is set to kick off with respect to both the ruling as well as the opposition here. Well, I have with me the BJP MLA here, senior BJP MLA Mr. Ashwath Narayan. Let me see if I can get a quick word from him. But before that, yes, all eyes are on the assembly session today because there were protests that kick-started in the morning that was set off by the BJP. However, that is Mr. Ashwath Narayan walking away. But yes, all eyes are on the second half of the session today.
Is there yet another political churn happening in Maharashtra? That's the question that's being asked. Ajit Pawar faction leader Chhagan Bhujbal has met NCP Supremo founder Sharad Pawar today. In fact, Chhagan Bhujbal, after meeting Sharad Pawar, said that this meeting was held over the Maratha issue. Remember, Mr. Bhujbal belongs to the OBC community and he has often talked about his flagged concerns about Maratha reservations impacting the OBC community's interest. He has in fact sought Pawar's intervention on this issue. That is what he has said. Shinde government minister has also sought Pawar's help. In fact, Bhujbal is a minister, senior minister from the Ajit Pawar faction of NCP.
पूछा क्या काम है, क्यों आए हो, तो मैंने उनको सारी बातें बता दी है कि राज्य भर में जो है ये मराठा खिलाफ ओबीसी और पिछड़े जो है ये झगड़ा शुरू है। कई जगह पर जो है एक दूसरे के ऊपर बायकॉट कर रहे हैं। वो कहता है कि इसके होटल में नहीं जाएंगे, वो कहता है कि उसके शादी में नहीं जाएंगे, और कई जगह तो मारामारी जो है झगड़े फसाद हो रहे हैं। और हो सकता है ये अगर ऐसा ही बढ़ता जाए तो एक दिन जो है राज्य में जो है बहुत बड़े पैमाने पर जो है आगजनी हो सकती है।
I have my colleague Jitendra Dixit joining us with more details on this story. Jitendra, tell us what exactly could be the significance of this meeting, because Chhagan Bhujbal comes from the OBC camp. He has been a vocal voice saying that the Maratha reservation, the Kumbhi Maratha reservation, could actually eat into the OBC quota. Just 2 days ago, we saw Ajit Pawar exceptionally managing to get two of his candidates win the seats. And of course, Sharad Pawar maintains, the strike rate that he had in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. But of course, he could not get his candidate to win. In the midst of all this, Mr. Bhujbal meeting Sharad Pawar, how do you see this?
See, this meeting was all of a sudden, it surprised everybody in the political corridors. And the real purpose behind this meeting is to put the onus of resolving the Maratha quota issue on Sharad Pawar. I'll give you a bit of background. Last week, the state government had called for an all-party meeting to discuss about the issue. But all the opposition party leaders were not present there and they boycotted the meeting. And it is said, Bhujbal alleged without naming Sharad Pawar, but indicated that it was due to Sharad Pawar that all the opposition party members had boycotted that meeting. And now the incumbent parties feel that Sharad Pawar is behind the whole imbroglio, whole fiasco. And now a narrative should be started where Sharad Pawar should be held responsible to come up with some sort of solution of this issue. Because as far as the state government is concerned, in last February, a special session was convened. In that session, the government has announced reservations in education and government jobs for Marathas. But now Manoj Jarange Patil, who is leading this agitation, is demanding that the reservation should come from the OBC quota, and it should also be extended to the blood relatives of those people who have been beneficiaries and whose documents have been found from the Nizam's rule. So this is being opposed by leaders from the OBC communities, and they are saying that if such thing happens, it will curtail their share in the quota, and this should not happen. So a scenario has come up where OBC and Maratha community are seen at loggerheads with each other, and this is the issue which Bhujbal had taken up and during his meeting with Sharad Pawar. And Sharad Pawar has now said that he will discuss the matter with the Chief Minister and some other senior leaders, and will try to resolve this issue.
Moving on, Mumbai hoarding horror case in which 17 people were killed when the massive hoarding collapsed. Now the charge sheet has exposed collusion. In the charge sheet that was filed today in the Mumbai court, the special investigation team of Mumbai crime branch that was investigating the case has pointed to the alleged collusion of top officials of GRP, which is the Government Railway Police, BMC and Ego Media Private Limited, that set the stage for the tragedy that happened on the 13th of May. According to this charge sheet, an excavator was at work to set up the huge billboard when a tree fell. The operator sensed soft soil and he recommended a soil check so that the building plans could be accordingly tweaked to ensure stability of the huge structure. The check would have taken at least 15 days, but despite this, the director of the Ego Media and the main accused ignored the warnings and they went ahead without conducting the required soil testing. That is what the charge sheet has said today. Time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. 10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
The biggest democratic exercise in the world. Team NDTV covers it from ground zero.
BJP really had to fight a tough election this time.
Unprecedented exercise. Unmatched coverage.
There is no dispute. जनता को decide करना है.
From polling to counting, NDTV brought you the most trustworthy news and updates. Elections mean NDTV.
फ्रेंड्स इट्स टाइम नाउ फॉर माय फेवरेट बेट और ये है आस्क टीजी, बेसिकली द सेगमेंट जहां पे मैं आपके सवालों के जवाब देता हूं जो आपने पूछे होते हैं ऑल अक्रॉस सेंडिंग योर ईमेल्स ऑन सोशल मीडिया। तो हमारी टीम सब कुछ पिक कर लेती है एंड हर वीक मुझे मौका मिलता है आपके सवालों के जवाब देने का। लेट्स सी द काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस वी हैव दिस वीक एंड इफ आई एम प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर ऑल द आंसर्स और नॉट। Okay, so I'll give you first initial response, which is कि if everything is okay, मतलब आप जो earphones use
This is NDTV and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Great to have you with us. You're watching the news here on NDTV with me, Tanima Biswas. We'll get you a roundup of the top stories from across the country. Also on the show, we will focus on how food delivery platforms like Zomato and Swiggy have once again hiked platform fees to 6 rupees per order from the earlier 5 rupees per order, a 20% increase. Are such platform fee hikes justified? That's the question we'll explore. Call in with your views. We will be opening our call-in lines at 5:30 p.m. We'll also have an expert to answer some of your questions. So do call in, engage with us and share your views on this big story that we are following. But let's take a look at the headlines first. Delhi hospital murder, 2 arrests made. Police claim that the killing was a case of mistaken identity. Gang rivalry gone wrong. Target was another patient. Accused were part of a criminal gang. Karnataka Deputy CM DK Shivakumar exclusive. DK has questioned CBI action against him. Rubbishes allegations against Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Karnataka Tamil Nadu water war simmer. Karnataka denies Tamil Nadu Cauvery water share. As per the Supreme Court order, Stalin calls an urgent meeting. Tamil Nadu meet to decide their next course of action. Karnataka says our first priority will be our farmers. After an FIR was registered against parents of trainee IAS officer Puja for allegedly threatening a farmer, Pune police say the accused are on the run and have switched off their phones. Latest on the Trump assassination bid probe, FBI says shooter's motive is still not clear. FBI probes the co-conspirator angle, though initial leads indicate that the shooter was acting alone. FBI also adds that the assault rifle was purchased legally. And Pakistan government is likely to ban former Prime Minister Imran Khan's party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. The country's information minister has shared this information, and the party is allegedly going to be banned over anti-state activities. Our top focus is on the Delhi hospital shocking murder. Now, the police have arrested 2 accused in the case and have called it a case of mistaken identity. The police claim that the accused are part of a criminal gang and that the target was another patient in the same hospital. Remember, the shooting took place inside GTB Hospital, which is a Delhi government hospital in the national capital, and the police have made their first arrests in the case. Let's listen in from the additional DCP of the area.
जिसने
किलिंग करी है वो बंदा अभी तलाशा जा रहा है, सीसीटीवी जांचे जा रहे हैं और हो सकता है या कोई मिस्टेकन एंटिटी बोली जा रही है, बट अभी कंफर्म नहीं है, इस बारे में तलाशा जा रहा है।
सर क्या एग्जैक्टली हुआ, मतलब एक लड़का आया?
इन्फॉर्मेशन ये है कि वार्ड की तरफ बाहर से कोई बंदा आया और उसने गोलियां चलाई, उसने या तो राइवलरी हो सकती है, पता लगाया जा रहा है अभी।
तो रियाजुद्दीन की डेथ हो चुकी है?
रियाजुद्दीन की डेथ हो चुकी है।
अच्छा सर, कितने लगभग राउंड फायर हुए हैं यहाँ पर? कुछ
5 खाली खोल मिले हैं, तो पता लगाया जा रहा है।
So as per the police there, the main shooter has not yet been arrested, but they have got 2 suspects. Let me go across to my colleague Tanushka. So Tanushka, I believe that the police are also claiming at the moment that the main shooter is still at large, but the motive which is coming out is in fact clarifying that it was a case of mistaken identity. They were targeting somebody else, and unfortunately somebody else was shot at.
Yes, exactly. That's what the case is. The police is saying that it's a case of mistaken identity. We know that Delhi police has arrested 2 of the accused, and this is after, of course, CCTV footage has been scanned, and the police got to the Instagram IDs as well as the phone numbers of the accused who belong to a gang that is run by a person called Haseem Baba. So this is some rivalry that was on with Haseem Baba's gang, and the gang members were instructed to go to the hospital and kill someone who was on the opposite bed of the person who has been actually killed. So the deceased was not the target in the first place, but it was mistaken. His identity was mistaken, and he was killed on the spot, and the gang members had actually gone to kill someone else. What we also know is that the police have identified one of the suspects as Faiz, who's a resident of Loni in Ghaziabad. And he was apprehended and interrogated. On sustained interrogation, he revealed that the main mastermind behind the incident is someone who goes by the name of Fahim. So this Fahim is also, the main member of this Haseem Baba gang. So it is on his instructions that the accused went up to the hospital. The entire plan and modus operandi was set by this individual known as Fahim. And he even told these, gang members on how to get out of the hospital. As of now, what we know is that Faiz and his 2 brothers have been apprehended by the police, and investigation is still under process.
Right, quite a shocking story there, and a very tragic case as well. Tanushka, thank you so much for joining us with the details. Shifting focus now to one of our exclusives, and Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar has spoken exclusively to NDTV. This after the Supreme Court, in fact, junked his petition where he had sought quashing of the disproportionate assets case against him. D.K. Shivakumar, in his initial reaction, called the order unfair and said he will look at other legal options that he can. He also went on to say that, in fact, rubbish the allegations which have been levelled against Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah as far as the alleged Muda scam is concerned. And D.K. Shivakumar said that there's no question of there being an allegation being levelled by the BJP if the case actually took place during BJP's era when BJP was in power in Karnataka. Listen in to this exclusive interaction with my colleague Pratibha.
We have with us the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. So with respect to the case, the Supreme Court has dismissed the petition. Do you see this as a setback?
See, what to do? Everyone knows how political vindictive my issues have been going on. When the BJP government was there in the state, they gave a permission and registered an FIR. I asked the FIR to be squashed, but they said that they can't squash the FIR, but at the same time here Karnataka government has withdrawn the permission given to the CBI and handed over the case to Lokayukta. And Lokayukta also is investigating, and CBI is also investigating. That is unfair. I have already asked that again they have appealed before the court because CBI doesn't have any powers to investigate when it has been withdrawn. Let me see the matters in the court.
Also, sir, with respect to Tamil Nadu, they have said that they would be organizing a meet tomorrow to discuss the Cauvery issue. How do you see this?
I think I am very happy to inform you that today we are getting some good rains, good inflow is there. I think more or less we will respect the court. I think there will be no need of, we have been, though there is a shortage of 33% of water, but still the court has, the authority, as the regulatory authority has given 1 TMC of water. But as on today, from yesterday, we are getting some good inflow. Let us see.
So my final question, how prepared is the Congress to face the onslaught of the opposition with respect to the allegations?
Where is the allegation? All allegation are there. The entire allegation is on them. We will show them. It is everything has started. All irregularities have started. The BJP rule. There is nothing in our government.
Thank you so much, sir. So that was the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, talking about how prepared Congress is to face the opposition's questions here with respect to the Karnataka Assembly session today. With camera person Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
So that was one of the issues that D.K. Shivakumar spoke about, which is the Karnataka and Tamil Nadu water tussle. And you heard the Deputy Chief Minister saying that they are hoping that because of the increased rainfall that they are seeing recently, that the situation will improve. Maybe Karnataka will be able to share the amount of water that the Supreme Court order has in fact mandated for them to do with Tamil Nadu. But for the moment, what we do know is after a high-level meeting yesterday, Karnataka has denied that 1 TMC Cauvery water share to Tamil Nadu, following which now the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has called a Tamil Nadu legislature party meeting tomorrow. In fact, Chief Minister Stalin has called Karnataka's move flouting the Supreme Court order and also an action which is deceiving the farmers of Tamil Nadu. Karnataka government, on the other hand, has said that there is no surplus water for them to share at the moment and that in such a situation, their priority will always be their own farmers.
Whatever take Tamil Nadu decision is taken. So our government, first priority is Karnataka farmers problems sort out. So first time of last so many years, early taken decision. Already yesterday's rain is Madikeri and...
As far as Karnataka is concerned, even now as we speak, it is raining right outside. So, and I also happen to be standing at the Cauvery Basin region. And as far as this interstate issue is concerned, well, this has been one of the contentious issues. And keeping in mind the deficiency of at least around 30% when it comes to the reservoirs in Karnataka, especially with deficient rainfall as well as the heat wave, the Karnataka leaders did make a strong decision to stick with the farmers' issues here. And that is precisely why they also held an all-party meeting yesterday where they decided two things. One is to appeal before the regulatory authority to suggest that the 1 TMC demand that has been made by Tamil Nadu cannot be followed by the Karnataka government. And two is to also mention that they would be able to release around 8,000 cusecs of water. Remember, 1 TMC translates to around 11,500 cusecs of water. But then instead of that, they would be willing to spare around 8,000 cusecs of water is what they've said. But why is there a good news? The last 2 days, there's been heavy rainfall in some of the regions in the Cauvery Basin, which has led to 96% as far as the Kabini Reservoir is concerned. And 20,000 cusecs have flowed from the Kabini Reservoir to Tamil Nadu. Now, keeping all of this in mind, perhaps there would be a solution in the days to come is what the Karnataka government leaders are hoping for at this point in time.
Now, as the assembly session begins in Karnataka, political face-off kickstarts with the BJP staging a protest from the adjacent building, the legislature house, to the Vidhan Sauda. The BJP said that they would settle for nothing short of a CBI probe in the alleged Muda scam. A day after, the Congress government announced a judicial probe into the matter. The opposition has also moved plea for a discussion on the alleged Valmiki scam. All this while the Congress terms it a political drama played out by the opposition.
We have with us Karnataka BJP Chief, Mr. Vijayendra. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. Sir, with respect to the judicial inquiry that has been set up by the Karnataka government on the Moda scandal.
See, Bharatiya Janata Party has been demanding CBI probe in the alleged Moda scam. So nothing less than CBI inquiry. Even today, because yesterday government has constituted an inquiry committee by a retired High Court judge, but will not accept this. We will demand for CBI inquiry.
So the Karnataka Assembly session begins today. So what is mainly on your agenda, both Valmiki as well as Muda?
See, number of corruption scandals has come to limelight. So Bharatiya Janata Party has taken up this issue from last 20-25 days. We will continue to do that today. We will raise this issue on the floor of the House.
So also with respect to the Cauvery issue, how do you see this? Are you in line with the Karnataka government's decision of appealing before the CWMA?
See, Karnataka government has to appeal, but they have to appeal effectively by keeping the good advocates. And secondly, during the last season also, the state government has failed in protecting the interest of our farmers in Mysore region. But yesterday, we have demanded Chief Minister not to, we have demanded Chief Minister to take up this issue seriously and protect the interests of the farmers in Cauvery Basin.
My final question, sir. Will you not relent until Chief Minister resigns?
That question will not arise at all. Chief Minister is bound to hand over the investigation of Moda scam to CBI and will be forced to resign. He will be forced to resign.
Thank you so much, sir. So that was Mr. Vijayendra claiming that Chief Minister Siddaramaiah will be forced to resign, especially with the kind of protests that have been staged by the BJP here. With camera person Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
See, we have called session. They have every opportunity to discuss on the floor of the House. Instead of that, if they are making a walk from LH to Vidhan Sauda or this type of protesting thing, that will not really honor the forums that are created. Assembly and council is on. They can take the opportunity to discuss on the floor of the House.
We have formed a single bench for the Muda issue as well. So whatever concerns the BJP has, let them raise it in the assembly with documents. If you are going to cry horse in public, what is it? They are demanding for the CM resignation. Sorry? They are demanding for let them demand CM resignation. Let them put the documents on the floor of the House and discuss it. Who's saying no? Who's saying no? We are not ready to discuss it.
Shifting focus to Mumbai, and the police there have filed a charge sheet in the Ghatkopar hoarding collapse case, which killed 17 people. In the 3,000-page charge sheet filed in the Mumbai court, the special investigation team has pointed to the alleged collusion of top officials in the government railway police and the Mumbai civic body, as well as the media company, the company which actually put up the banner, put up the hoarding. And according to the charge sheet, there was warning of how the soil in that area was very loose, but not only did the private firm which set up the hoarding ignore it, but also the Mumbai civic body as well as the GRP turned a blind eye to this. So these are the details which have come through from the charge sheet. My colleague Sujata reports from the location where the hoarding collapse claimed 17 lives.
The Ghatkopar hoarding collapse incident happened in May, killing 17 and injuring more than 70 people, has now taken a new turn where the investigation team, the special team that was formed by the Mumbai Crime Branch Unit, has filed a charge sheet of consisting 3,299 pages, which highlights several other aspects that were investigated, that were found out before the hoarding was installed at this particular site where I'm standing. And also the charge sheet now states that there was a soil check that was necessary, which was not done, and also the JCB operator and excavator is among more than those 100 witnesses whose statements feature in the police charge sheet, where it was him who did warn the officials, the GRP officials, about a soil test that was necessary, but it was not done. And also this particular contract was given to Bhavesh Bhinde without any soil check being conducted. And who exactly was the authority behind this particular matter matter seems to be in the question here, where now Kaisar Khalid, the former GRP commissioner, and also several BMC officials, as well as a collusion with Bhavesh Bhinde and the contractor Janvi Marathe has been found out. And at present, the special investigative team is also mentioned in his charge sheet that it was not only the Bhavesh Bhinde's inclusion in this matter, but also the BMC officials. Are they included or not is also a big question in this particular matter, where it killed 17. And also, why did the GRP officials allow the placement of this particular hoarding, even though the excavator did inform about the soil check that was necessary, that when a tree fell in the same area where 4 of these giant hoardings were placed up before them being placed up, and yet a soil test was not done, which would require 15 days of it. And because of in a hurry and without any proper tendering process, it was handed over to Ego Media Private Limited for the installation of this hoarding, raises even big question. And at present, the special investigative team has now filed a charge sheet of 3,299 pages in a Mumbai court, highlighting the several issues that led to this giant hoarding, that is 120 by 120 feet coming down. And also now further investigation will be carried out in the same manner, and also stating what all exactly led to this giant hoarding coming down.
Right, breaking update coming in from the top court, and Supreme Court has rejected the demand for an SIT probe on the Hindenburg short selling case. Supreme Court has rejected the petition which sought a court-monitored CBI probe. The Supreme Court has rejected the plea which sought a review of the earlier order by the Supreme Court in January. Let me go across to my colleague Ashish for more on this. Ashish, what was the petition about, and what did Supreme Court observe while rejecting the demand?
See, Tanima, the main petitioner, the Anamika Jaiswal, filed a review before the Supreme Court and seek a review of its earlier order for January 3, in which Supreme Court 3 judges bench headed by Chief Justice of India, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, they refused to form a SIT under the supervision of Supreme Court. And also, Supreme Court said what the expert panel has given the report. The Supreme Court constitutes expert panel that is enough, and Supreme Court will not go further in this matter and dispose of that Hindenburg matter. Now, after that, in February, Anamika Jaiswal, who is the petitioner, one of the petitioners filed a review petition, seek review of earlier order. But so now, Supreme Court bench headed by Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, who is Chief Justice of India, categorically rejected this review petition and said there is no error on face of record found by the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court will not go further, and there is not a case made out for the review of this earlier judgment of January 3. So it's a big win for Adani Group and setback to the petitioner who were demanding an SIT or CBI probe under the supervision of top of the country. Now,
right.
After this order, there will be no reopening of this case, we can say. Yes.
Right. Ashish, just for the benefit of our viewers, take our viewers through the key highlights of the case and what the Supreme Court order in January was.
On January 3rd, there was before this, there was a lengthy hearing in this case. The Supreme Court heard both the parties, SEBI, Center, and these petitioners. 3 petitioners were there. They were demanding a thoroughly SIT inquiry by under the supervision of Supreme Court. But Supreme Court constituted a expert panel for this, and directed SEBI to assist them in this investigation. After that, expert panel filed a report before the Supreme Court and clearly says there is no malpractice by Adani Group found by the expert panel. And after that, Supreme Court heard this matter, and the judgment came on January 3rd, and Supreme Court categorically rejected all the plea. And Supreme Court said there is no need to constitute any SIT or CBI investigation under its supervision, and Supreme Court also directed SEBI to conduct take logical end to all these type of investigation of all the companies. Also, before earlier, some time back, the SEBI issued notice to Hindenburg also. So now, in between, meanwhile, after this judgment, Anamika Jaiswal, the petitioner, she filed a review petition as seeking review of the January 3rd order. But now Supreme Court, although it was heard on considered on May 8th, but today's judgment, the copy of order uploaded is at Supreme Court website, and there is Supreme Court categorically refused to reopen this case, and there will be no SIT or any kind of investigation by any agency. Now Supreme Court said there is no error on the face of record, and there is no case made out of review in this matter, and all three judges are agreed in this case, and now this case is review petition is also dismissed.
Right. So, Ashish Bhargav there giving us the latest from the Supreme Court on this very important update coming in, that the Supreme Court has in fact rejected a plea seeking a review of its earlier order in the Hindenburg short-selling case. We'll be slipping into a short break at this point, but coming up on the other side, our call-in show on whether or not the platform fee hike by Swiggy and Zomato is justified. Call in with your views. That's coming up in a few minutes.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
मेरा सेविंग्स अकाउंट
Get the magic of the best working for you now.
Link your payment cards once, collect rewards forever.
It's Modi 3.0 government's first budget. On today's show, we focus on what lies ahead for taxpayers. We get you wish list of the salaried class and the potential tax reforms they can expect. Watch NDTV's pre-budget series, Budget of Hope, today at 6:30 p.m.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News App. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
This is about Samsung smartphones, and Samsung smartphones, I'm sure the user base is huge. तो हो सकता है
On to one of the top stories that we have been following since yesterday. Former US President Donald Trump is in Milwaukee a day after the assassination bid on him in Pennsylvania. Remember that Trump is expected to address the Republican convention on Thursday, which is taking place in Milwaukee. Now, as I mentioned, he's scheduled to address it on Thursday. But meanwhile, the Secret Service has said that it doesn't plan to change the security arrangements for the convention. In an interview with the New York Post after surviving an assassination attempt, Trump has said that he isn't supposed to be here and that he's supposed to be dead. In fact, the shooting left one bystander dead at that rally and 2 people wounded. Trump himself got nicked in the ear. On the probe front, FBI's investigation so far has indicated that the shooter was acting alone. The motive is still not clear. A probe is underway to determine if there were any co-conspirators. The FBI has added that the assault rifle that the shooter used was purchased legally. The shooter, Thomas Crooks, was not known to the FBI, as in he did not have any prior criminal record. FBI also added that the explosive devices which were found in Crooks' car and at his home in Bethel Park in Pennsylvania have been rendered safe. Right, we'll take a short break at this point. Don't go anywhere.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News App. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
जब सैमसंग की शुरुआत हुई इन द ईयर 1938, सैमसंग ने तब इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स वगैरह बनाना स्टार्ट नहीं किया था. इट वॉजंट टिल ईयर 1969 कि सैमसंग इस फील्ड में आया. अब आप सोच रहे हैं कि उससे पहले सैमसंग क्या करता था? तो लेट मी टेल यू, सैमसंग ने बहुत ही हम्बल बिगिनिंग्स के साथ अपनी शुरुआत की थी. बेसिकली दे वर इनटू शुगर रिफाइनिंग, टू टेक्सटाइल्स, हम बात करते हैं वेजिटेबल्स की या फिर फ्लावर की या फिर इनफैक्ट इवन नूडल्स. Yes, you heard it right, noodles. Samsung ने बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ें ट्राई करी and eventually in the year 19...
Welcome back. Now, food delivery platforms Zomato and Swiggy have once again hiked platform fees to 6 rupees per order from an earlier 5 rupees, a 20% increase. Now, currently, that's being charged in Delhi and Bengaluru. The platform fee is different from delivery fee, goods and services tax, restaurant charges, and handling charges. The higher platform fee will roll out on to other cities as well. The platform fee goes to the food aggregators to apparently control costs and increase revenues. The food delivery platforms aim to generate around 1.25 to 1.5 crore per day by levying the platform fee on their consumers. So this is, of course, a latest development which has taken place as far as the food delivery apps are concerned, and we are opening our call-in lines. We want to hear from you, our viewers, as to what you have to say about this and whether or not you feel that for apps, for food delivery apps, a platform fee like this, a platform fee hike like this, a 20% hike at one go, is that justified? So that is the question that we are asking. You can call us. There the numbers are splashing across your screen on this development, and you can call us and share your views. We will also, of course, be going across to Sachin Taparia, founder of Local Circles, who has done a lot of surveys and has in fact delved into consumer rights. So he will also be talking about this issue with us. In fact, there's one particular survey by Local Circles which we will talk about, but our phone lines are open now for our viewers who want to call in and share their view about this platform fee hike by food delivery apps. But for the moment, let me go across to Sachin Taparia. Sachin, let me talk about the survey that Local Circles has in fact done, where you have found out through an all India survey that food delivery, 68% of app users, food delivery app users, have experienced hidden charges, and 69% say that the actual delivery time is always higher than the stated delivery time. So a lot of consumers, do you get that sense from this survey that a lot of consumers feel that they are not getting the bang for their buck, and these kind of hikes from time and again, they feel that they are not getting the kind of service that they were hoping to?
Yeah, absolutely, Tanima. I think what's happening here is lack of transparency. I think that's the key issue, and that is what our survey on dark patterns on food aggregators has brought out, which is, by the way, now legislation after November 30th, 2023. The Ministry of Consumer Affairs and the CCPA have passed a new legislation where any such charges like what you call as hidden charges or practices like bait and switch, where you show a particular delivery time of, let's say, 25 minutes just to attract the consumer or get them to order, but then the actual delivery time is much longer. So that's called or classified as a bait and switch practice. Similarly, there is basket sneaking, where, you know, a membership or a premium gold one subscription is added to your cart automatically. So these are all, you know, dark practices or dark patterns that the government is saying are no longer permissible, and all platforms must comply already to these practices. So now, coming to hidden charges, that has been a huge issue, where a common complaint from a consumer is that, you know, when we go, we browse the menu on these apps, we see it's about 150 rupees, but by the time we place the order, you know, it is 300 rupees. So almost double in some cases. And I think the simple ask there is, when a product is shown to a consumer, you already know their address, you already know, you know, their ordering patterns, everything. Why would you not show them the actual total price right up front, rather than adding all these charges later? Because I think the kind of decisions that people would make would be different if something like that is done. But at the end of the day, you know, it'll be a more trusted, transparent transaction. And that is what people are looking for and asking for. So I think charges, a delivery fee getting added is fine, because, you know, these platforms are a business, they add convenience, but just be super transparent in whatever you're doing.
Right. In fact, a lot of people may not even be aware that there is such a charge being levied on them, because it's a very minuscule charge to begin with, maybe a 1 or 2 rupee hike. I believe I have a caller, Satish from Bengaluru, who's joining our conversation. Satish, yes, please go ahead with your view.
Yeah, I have a slightly, you know, a different issue, in the sense that what I've observed is the menu on Swiggy or Zomato, I use mainly Swiggy, is usually double than what is in the restaurant. In many cases, it's all double. I've actually gone to a restaurant in Bangalore, had my breakfast, a plate of idli, 2 idlis cost 50. The same 2 idlis cost 100 rupees on Swiggy, and then they give you a discount of, you know, you order so much above 199 or whatever, they give you a discount. I actually wrote to Swiggy about a couple of years back on this, and so how can you do this? They claim that, look, we are getting the menus from the restaurant, and we are, you know, based on that, we are displaying the menus. But I don't know if this is allowed, is this legal? You know, can the restaurant, if they're charging double, if you're ordering on Swiggy, they're not telling us that, right? So that's transparency, as the gentleman was saying, is definitely not there. So this. I think it's a far bigger charge. You know, we are talking about 5 rupees, 6 rupees, which is, you know, when Swiggy collects it, they get gross. But what about this? You know, double charges from the restaurant menu?
Yes. So this is once again, Satish from Bengaluru. Thank you so much for calling us. And he's also talking about the hidden costs there that Sachin Taparia's surveys also found out. I'm also joined by Mr. Sunil Kohli from Delhi, who is joining us. Yes, Mr. Kohli, go ahead and share your views with us.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. So what I thought was this 20% hike is not justified, because you see, the people's salaries are not increasing that proportion. So naturally, the hike should be reasonable, considering that most of the middle class people get this, and they are, so it should be considered for slightly downgrade trend. Yeah.
Right. So Sunil Kohli there saying that this price hike is not justified. Sachin Taparia, you heard them. You know, for a layman, you know, when they are being told that this is a cost that we are taking, or a price that we are taking in order to maintain our app, what does that even mean? Do we actually know how much an app developer would need to maintain their app? And does that entail taking, you know, 1 rupee charge from each consumer and eventually bulking up an amount like 1.5 crore? That's a lot of money. So, you know, are the app, maybe there should be better communication if there's an actual necessity of charging such a fee.
Absolutely, Tanima. You know, I think what the gentleman from Bangalore, Satish, mentioned is dead on. A lot of restaurants have 2 menus. One is the menu when you go into the restaurant, where a product will cost, let's say, 100 rupees, or a dish would cost 100 rupees. That same dish could be displayed at 200 rupees online. And most consumers, when they go on these apps, do not know this, and they basically add to their cart and they check out. And this is again another area of transparency where if such a practice is being deployed, where a product is 100 offline and 200 online, then it's the responsibility of the platform to display that offline restaurant prices could be different. So the consumer
Hold
is
that
making
thought,
an
Mr.
informed
Taparia.
choice.
Hold that thought. I'm also joined by Mr. Ramchandran from Bengaluru. Yes, Mr. Ramchandran, go ahead.
First thing, I am in agreement with this gentleman who just called before about the pricing.
Right.
Hello. And number two, if at all they have to raise the, fees, it's around 6 rupees, they say. That should be shared with the 80-20, it should be. 80% should be shared with this delivery personnel.
Okay, so the delivery personnel should also be paid better. That's also another aspect that one of our callers is touching upon. Yes.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Ramchandran, for calling us. So, Sachin, you see that our callers are actually bringing forth a number of issues, essentially saying that in order for the service to be better, there has to be an overall development. It's not just about the app, but maybe even the service personnel involved need to be paid better, and that will eventually lead to the service coming to the consumer, coming across as much better than up to the mark that people are expecting. So yes, we were talking about better communications from the app developers side, from the app owner's side, to really explain to the consumers why they are, why they are actually enforcing such a fee hike, because otherwise it comes across to most people as another hidden cost.
Absolutely, and I think that is where on every step, I think the platform, operators, both Swiggy and Zomato, need to kind of go back to the drawing board and say, look, what all areas in the app do we have where we are not proactively communicating to the consumer these different hidden charges, and make them more transparent. I think if that is done, it becomes a much more trusted transaction with the consumer, and it will help with long-term consumer retention. Short-term, you may see a little bit of a bump, because now that plate of idli, basically the consumer knows that the price at the restaurant versus the price on the app is different, right? But I think in the long run, it will lead to increased trust. Consumer will know what they are ordering, how much they are going to be paying upfront, rather than on the last step, where when they've already planned the meal or the entire order, and then they come to know that there is another 150 or 200 rupees that they've ought to pay for this transaction. So I think, that's something that they've got to keep in mind. The other aspect is, which you referred to, the cost of the developer and all of that. See, most of these apps now, both of them actually have a program, which is their gold program or their Swiggy One program in the case of Swiggy, where you are charging a membership fee to the consumer. So many of them are already paying this membership fee essentially, which should cover the costs for app developers and maintaining the app and other technical costs. So I think having a charge, it's their economics, they've got to figure it out. But to basically add it suddenly without transparency is the issue that they've got to solve.
Let's also listen into some voices that we are getting from the ground on this issue.
How often do you order in from Zomato and Swiggy in a week?
My name's Priyal, and I do often order quite a lot, maybe 4 times a week or so.
Right. So, Zomato and Swiggy, both of these food ordering platforms have increased their platform fees by 20%. How does this as a consumer affect your, ordering in?
It is very inconvenient, and then I have to think twice before ordering anything. And then now I prefer to eat in because I don't like ordering so much because of the money that they're taking. Well, it was quite less. Now they've increased, and that's for a common man, obviously, or for a student like me. It's not very feasible to order every time when I want to. So it is. chaotic.
Zomato and Swiggy have increased their platform fees. How does this affect your consumer patterns?
Yeah, for a middle class person, I would say, like, if, for example, if you are spending 100 rupees and 20 rupees you have to pay to just platform fee or something. So indeed, it would be a great surge in price. And I would not be going to Zomato or Swiggy in that pattern. And instead, I would be going directly to restaurant and getting the food for myself, or would be calling the restaurant directly, and if they could parcel me instead of paying something to Zomato or Swiggy.
ये जो Zomato Swiggy ने अपना प्लेटफॉर्म चार्ज 20% से बढ़ा दिया है, इसके बाद आपके कंज्यूमर पैटर्न पर और ऑर्डरिंग पैटर्न पर कितना प्रभाव पड़ेगा?
वैसे तो पहले ही इसका डिलीवरी चार्ज ऑलरेडी ज़्यादा ही था, क्योंकि वो डिलीवरी चार्ज और हैंडलिंग चार्ज यदि हम लोग ऑफलाइन में जाते हैं तो उसके प्राइसिंग अलग होते हैं और ऑनलाइन में प्राइसिंग ज़्यादा अलग होते हैं, तो डिफरेंस तो पहले वही था। और अब हैंडलिंग चार्ज और बढ़ा दिया, तो वैसे ही वो एक तो डिलीवरी चार्ज ज़्यादा है, सेकेंड की जो सप्लाई साइड से जो कमीशन है वो ज़्यादा है, और थर्ड अब यदि हैंडलिंग चार्ज और बढ़ेगा तो वैसे भी ऑर्डरिंग कम होगी, क्योंकि मैं इसीलिए बहुत फ्रिक्वेंटली ऑर्डर तो नहीं करता हूँ, बहुत रेयर ऑर्डर करता हूँ, क्योंकि ऑफलाइन में उतना ईजीली मिल जाता है, अवेलेबल है। और दूसरा है कन्वीनियंट, यदि ये मैं कहीं से ट्रैवल करके भी जा रहा हूँ तो वो मेरे को और ज़्यादा चीफेस्ट पड़ जाता है, तो मैं बहुत ही रेयर ऑर्डर करता हूँ इसमें।
Those are some voices we got you from the national capital, but I also have some callers on the line. Robin from Pune is calling in. Yes, Robin, please go ahead. All right, we will try and reconnect with Robin. Meanwhile, I believe I also have Hadish from Bengaluru on the line. Yes, Hadish, please share your view.
Yeah, Purnima, Hadish here. So what the guest on your show was saying, it's absolutely right. I mean, the prices of the items, what we see on the restaurant menus is lesser than the prices what we see on the menu of the app, irrespective of whether it is the Zomato or this thing, Swiggy. This is one major concern. I have already, discussed with many of the restaurants nearby my place, and I've asked them why is this such a huge difference between your prices on your menus and on the online menus. So they don't give any proper response to that. Some say, no sir, we do packaging also, so we add that packaging charges and blah blah, something like that. But there is no clarity on that. There is no transparency on that. And second thing, what I'd like to point, one more thing is like, the prices of the items on the app differ not only based on the restaurant, but it also depends based on the timing, what time you are ordering. For example, if I order some item, on an app during the daytime, early morning, say if I order some tea, so it will cost you around 100 rupees, 200 rupees like that. But the same tea, if I order, maybe sometime in the afternoon, it will cost less.
Right.
And there is no justification for this. And I really don't understand, how does this business model work? It's really, very bizarre. Why there is such huge difference?
So the system is very opaque. There's not much transparency. That is what Hadish from Bengaluru is sharing with us. Thank you, Hadish, for your call. I also have Robin from Pune back with us. Yes, Robin, please go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I also want to highlight the fact that the quality of the food that is being delivered, what they are doing is that they are charging twice the money than the values that you see in a hotel. And then the food quality that is delivered is usually not fresh food. It is prepared from a day earlier. So they just pack early prepared food and send it to you. So this happens especially so in the mornings, where the delivery charges will be higher.
Right.
And the timings will be lower, but the delivery charges will be higher. And then they will send you food that is prepared a day earlier. And I have been to a hotel where a man just told me that this is how they operate. They have a separate, a kitchen for preparation of food for delivery on the app versus what you get when you actually visit or frequent a hotel. And the quality of the food, that's why when you visit a hotel, you will find it fresh food being served to you versus actually food that was being used earlier, whatever is left overnight, they just pack it and send it the next day. In fact, I also have experience of having ordered pizza from a very reputed chain that was recently added to a delivery app provider.
Okay.
And I placed the order and I get a call from the place saying that, can you cancel the order? I said, why? I can't come and deliver to your place.
Okay.
So they have these things also going on. The amount is refunded to you, but the inconvenience and those things, they keep added. And like I said, the quality of the food for the amount that is being asked is not justifiable, and they take twice as much amount to sometimes deliver food that was prepared a day earlier.
Right. Robin from Pune, thank you so much for sharing your views. So maybe some of this feedback, I hope people connected to these food delivery apps are listening in, because this is direct feedback from their customers. Rajesh from Delhi is also on the phone line. Yes, Rajesh, please go ahead.
Yes, good evening. And the delivery charges are already on the higher side. And with this hike, how do they justify? What is the quantum they're already earning from the existing charges? And how do they justify this hike? It is totally ununderstandable.
Sir, they are saying it is in order to maintain the app, to develop the app. Do you think that is a valid answer from their side?
They are already charging the membership fees and other things. I don't know where all that goes.
So for the common man there, for the general customers, Rajesh, thank you so much for your call and your views. Yes, so for the common man there and all the people that we spoke to, they don't feel that it is justified that this sort of a hike takes place, Sachin Taparia. But, you know, one basic question that I want to ask, for the Aam Aadmi, you know, whenever they see such a thing happening, they look at it as another sign of, let's say, inflation or price hike. But can we really compare rise in milk prices to an app development fee?
No, we can't here, Nanima. I think the issue again goes back to making things more transparent, so the consumer knows what they are buying and what they are paying for, essentially. And we discussed, you know, the hidden charges aspect. The caller before last talked about the fact that, you know, the food is not fresh. That's another area where transparency could be brought in, basically, by disclosing, you know, just like we have best before date on packaged products, they could start putting some kind of date, you know, or some kind of timestamp on products that are fresh products as well, saying that, you know, this is being made fresh, or, you know, this product is from this morning, right? So again, giving more information to the consumer so there are no negative surprises later, basically. So I think that's the need of the hour, is for these apps to become a bit more transparent than what they are. You know, charges, economics, I think, is something that, again, you know, is driven by market forces. Now, tomorrow, if an ONDC, which is a Government of India app, you know, takes off, it's already doing a lot of transactions, you know, through the restaurants. If it takes off, I think these platforms will have to bring their charges down. You know, they won't be able to justify and stay in business, you know, with those kind of charges.
Right. Hold your thought. I'm also joined by Mr. Ranjit Anand from Noida. Yes, Mr. Anand, go ahead and share your views with us.
Actually, yesterday I wanted to share my point of view also. Now, yesterday I wanted to order a pizza, so I used Zomato to order pizza. There were two things which really struck me. One is that generally I pay by cash, that is cash on delivery. So I ordered and I was surprised to find that because the bill was more than 350 rupees, so the message said that you cannot pay by COD method. So then I found out that, okay, I should download an app. I downloaded the Domino's app because through Domino I was ordering pizza. Now, to my surprise again, I realized the bill which I paid to Domino's, finally I ordered through Domino's, through their app, which was almost 50 to 60 rupees less than what Zomato was showing me as total charge. So eventually I ended up paying less. And at the same time, I paid cash on delivery.
All right, Ranjit,
so
thank you.
Definitely there is something going on.
Right, that's his personal experience there, like the money that food delivery app was charging was significantly higher than directly ordering from the company. Dinesh Jadeja from Vadodara also on the line. Yes, Dinesh, go ahead and share your views with us.
Yes, ma'am. I had once order from platform of Swiggy. The food was delivered was very substandard, and in that also they were not giving the proper detail of the food, and somehow I was very disappointed. So I think that platform should focus on the quality of the food, because they are charging so high, and they are not up to the mark, to the standard which they are claiming to.
Right. Yes.
So because of that, somehow the food they deliver and go, and after having the food, we are very disappointed, and this can cause to health issues also. And this should be taken care. And there is no any testing of this food which they are delivering. There is no any certification or anything on the platform also.
So, considering this kind of a service is, consumers will question any sort of a fee hike.
Yes.
Dinesh Jadeja, thank you so much for joining us with your views. I'm also joined by a caller from Delhi, Ravi Sethi. Yes, Ravi, what do you think about the question we are asking today?
Yeah, actually, platform fees and delivery charges are very transparent. So whether they hike it, it's okay. We can do that. But what we need to be more concerned about is whether are they charging more than what they're charging at the restaurant, because that is something very non-transparent thing. If you end up buying a burger in McDonald's, which is for like 50 rupees, and Zomato app or Swiggy app, they end up selling it for 80 rupees. So that is something which you need to be concerned about, rather than being more concerned about platform fees or delivery charges, because these are something which they are highlighting beforehand that you are going to pay. So that, I think we should focus on whether they are hiking the menu charges or not. That is very opaque.
Right. A valid point from Ravi Sethi there in Delhi. Thank you so much for calling us here on NDTV. A lot of consumers there sharing their views and their experiences of these apps, and hopefully somebody is listening there and taking the feedback. Sachin Taparia, founder of Local Circles, thank you so much for joining us on the show on this important focus story that we were looking at. On that note, we'll slip into a short break. News and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
It's Modi 3.0 government's first budget. On today's show, we focus on what lies ahead for taxpayers. We get you wish list of the salaried class and the potential tax reforms they can expect. Watch NDTV's pre-budget series, Budget of Hope, today at 6:30 p.m. It's Modi 3.0 government's first budget. On today's show, we focus on what lies ahead for taxpayers. We get you wish list of the salaried class and the potential tax reforms they can expect. Watch NDTV's pre-budget series, Budget of Hope, today at 6:30 p.m.
The biggest democratic exercise in the world. Team NDTV covers it from ground zero.
BJP really had to fight a tough election this time.
Unprecedented exercise. Unmatched coverage.
There is no dispute. जनता को decide करना है.
From polling to counting, NDTV brought you the most trustworthy news and updates. Elections mean NDTV.
फ्रेंड्स, इट्स टाइम नाउ फॉर माय फेवरेट बेट और ये है आस्क टीजी। बेसिकली द सेगमेंट जहां पे मैं आपके सवालों के जवाब देता हूं जो आपने पूछे होते हैं ऑल अक्रॉस सेंडिंग योर ईमेल्स ऑन सोशल मीडिया। तो हमारी टीम सब कुछ पिक कर लेती है एंड हर वीक मुझे मौका मिलता है आपके सवालों के जवाब देने का।
Welcome back. Now, as part of its pledge to plant and nurture 100 million trees by 2030, The Adani Group has joined forces with the Madhya Pradesh government and will be providing 11 lakh saplings out of 51 lakh trees to be planted in Indore. The Green Drive was conducted from the 7th to the 14th of July and is in line with the group's commitment to a sustainable future. With that, it's a wrap on the bulletin. Keep watching NDTV. It's Modi 3.0 government's first budget. On today's show, we focus on what lies ahead for taxpayers. We get you wish list of the salaried class and the potential tax reforms they can expect. Watch NDTV's pre-budget series, Budget of Hope, today at 6:30 p.m.
Get ready for the ride of your life. NDTV brings you the NDTV Auto Show with me, Mugdha Mishra. From the fastest supercars to the sleekest new energy vehicles to your trusted daily ride, we cover it all. Every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and Sunday at 8:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7. Your next great escape starts here.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News App. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
This is about Samsung smartphones and Samsung smartphones I'm sure the user base is huge. तो हो सकता है आपके पास या आपके किसी फैमिली मेंबर के पास भी Samsung का फोन हो. All you need to do is to just punch in
This is NDTV and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Good evening and welcome to NDTV. I'm Ankit Tyagi. Let's take a look at the headlines we're tracking at 6 p.m. Hindenburg short-selling case, Supreme Court's firm no to SIT probe. Supreme Court rejects demand for court-monitored CBI probe. Delhi hospital murder, shocker, 2 arrests made. Police say killing a case of mistaken identity. Gang rivalry gone wrong. Target was another patient. DK Shivakumar exclusively speaks to NDTV. DKS questions CBI action against him, rubbishes allegations against Siddaramaiah. Karnataka, Tamil Nadu water war simmers. Karnataka denies Tamil Nadu Cauvery water share. Stalin calls for a meeting. Tamil Nadu to meet, in fact, and decide next course of action. Trump assassination probe. FBI says shooter's motive not clear. FBI probes co-conspirator angle as well, though initial leads indicate shooter was acting alone. Pakistan will ban former Prime Minister Imran Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party, the country's information minister has said, over anti-state activities. Now, in the Hindenburg short-selling case, the Supreme Court today rejected demands for SIT probe. The Supreme Court also said that it said no to the court-monitored CBI probe. Top court has rejected the plea to review earlier order. Supreme Court, in its order, said no need to relook at the earlier order. Remember, the plea was filed seeking review of the January order by the Supreme Court on the same issue. Let me bring in my colleague Ashish, who is joining us with more details on this. Ashish, quite an important, in fact, hearing once again, a review being filed in this case now, and Supreme Court not even willing to relook in the case. What have been the remarks which have been made by the court in its order?
Yes, see, this review petition, the Supreme Court rule is review petition can be only can be considered inside chamber by the Supreme Court judges bench, respectively. And today, this order uploaded, and Supreme Court categorically refused to reopen this case, we can say, and Supreme Court said there is no apparently error on the face of record in this matter. There is no need to review earlier judgment which was delivered by the three judges bench headed by Justice D.Y. Chandrachud on January 3. So it's an important judgment and win again for Adani Group, as Supreme Court refused to reopen, refused to consider, refused to review its earlier order. We can the earlier the Supreme Court, when Supreme Court pronounced judgment on January 3, Supreme Court refused to transfer this case to SIT or court monitor CBI investigation. Also, bench headed by Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and other judges, Justice J.B. Pardiwala and Manoj Mishra, dismissed this review petition. Now, and that time, Supreme Court said that the reliance on the reliance on the newspaper report or any third party organization to question the statutory regulator does not inspire confidence. Also, Supreme Court said they can be treated as input, but not conclusive reports to doubt SEBI probe. So, Government of India and SEBI to look into if there is any infraction of law by the Hindenburg report on short selling, and if so, take action in accordance with law. What CJI bench has said that time. Meanwhile, before earlier this month, the SEBI issued notice to the Hindenburg also, and it's a big win for Adani Group, as Supreme Court refused to reopen this case, interfere this case, and review this case. So this case is now closed by the Supreme Court, and maybe the petitioner can file, maybe petitioner Anamika Jaiswal will file a curative petition, but Supreme Court now told them reject their review petition also.
Thank you so much, Ashish, for joining us on this very important story that we've been tracking here on NDTV. Moving on to the national capital, where the shocker at a hospital in the national capital. Delhi police now has arrested 2 accused who have been accused of killing a patient in the GTB hospital in the national capital. The police said the killing was a case of mistaken identity and the accused was part of a criminal gang. The target was another patient in the same hospital, but the patient shot dead was in fact killed due to mistaken identity on Sunday.
जिसने किलिंग करी है वो बंदा अभी तलाशा जा रहा है, सीसीटीवी जांचे जा रहे हैं, और हो सकता है या कोई मिस्टेकन आइडेंटिटी बोली जा रही है, बट अभी कंफर्म नहीं है, इस बारे में तलाशा जा रहा है.
सर क्या एग्जैक्टली हुआ, मतलब एक लड़का आया?
इन्फॉर्मेशन ये है कि वार्ड की तरफ बाहर से कोई बंदा आया और उसने गोलियां चलाई. उसने या तो राइवलरी हो सकती है, पता लगा जा रहा अभी.
तो रियाजुद्दीन की डेथ हो चुकी है?
रियाजुद्दीन की डेथ हो चुकी है.
अच्छा सर, कितने लगभग राउंड फायर हुए हैं यहाँ पर? कुछ
5 खाली खोल मिले हैं, पता लगा जा रहा है.
My colleague Tanushka now joins us with more details at this moment. Tanushka, now this has sent shock waves in the national capital. It's almost like a movie scene being played out in real life, where somebody has been killed inside a hospital. The doctors are worried about their safety, so are the patients.
Yes, precisely. In broad daylight, 4 shooters come into Guru Tegh Bahadur Hospital and kill a person on the spot. Multiple rounds were fired by an 18-year-old boy who's main accused in the case, whereas Delhi police has arrested 2 of the shooters. Now, what is the larger conspiracy here is that the accused, all of them are part of a gang. This was a gang rivalry and they had come in to shoot someone else altogether, and this is a case of mistaken identity as the police have also mentioned. The accused belong from Hasim Baba's gang. This is what the gang leader's name is, and Thereafter, they were instructed to, get into the hospital, go to ward number 24 and shoot at someone who was actually in the opposite bed of the person who's been shot at. So the deceased is, of course, of mistaken identity, who's been killed on the spot mistakenly. The shooters had come in to kill someone else who's on the opposite bed. And two of them who have been arrested, one has been arrested by the from Loni in Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh, and his name is Faiz, and the other person who has been arrested is from Selampur in Delhi, and his name is Farhan. So these two boys are also, members of this Hasim Baba's gang, and they were operating under, the instructions of this mastermind this is what Faiz claims. After interrogation, what Faiz revealed is that they were all working on instructions of someone who goes by the name of Badshah Khan, and this person is the mastermind who's given the entire instructions of who to go and kill and how to go, and even how to get out of the hospital in time. A bike was waiting for them outside. So there were 4 accused in total. 4 shooters had walked into the hospital, broad daylight, with weapons on them, guns on them, and of course this raises major questions about the security at this government hospital. It's a centralized hospital, so how is it possible that gunmen just walk in, shoot a patient dead and just walk out with conveniently? So 2 of these accused have been arrested. The mastermind behind this, who goes by the name of Badshah Khan, is yet to be arrested, and the connections are yet to be made clearly as to with the Hasim Baba gang. Who was this enmity really between? This is what is also question mark right now, but the fact of the matter remains that an innocent life, a 32-year-old man by the name of Riazuddin, he was a resident of Khajuri. He comes from a marginal background and labor background family. His mother is, of course, in a distraught state, and this life has just been lost for no good rhyme or reason.
Thank you so much for joining us with all those details. Tanushka reporting there from the national capital. Moving on now to Karnataka, where Deputy Chief Minister and Congress leader DK Shivakumar has spoken exclusively to NDTV on the asset case. He has said that this is unfair and he will look at the legal options. Additionally, DK Shivakumar rubbished allegations against Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and his wife, in fact, where he said that the allegation, this happened during the BJP's time. At this, he's in fact turning it around and saying that if there was something wrong, the BJP should have woken up at that point of time. It happened when they were in the government.
We have with us the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. DK Shivakumar. So thank you so much for joining us. So with respect to the case, the Supreme Court has dismissed the petition. Do you see this as a setback?
See, what to do? Everyone knows how political vindictive my issues have been going on. When the BJP government was there in the state, they gave a permission and registered an FIR. I asked the FIR to be squashed, but they said that they can't squash the FIR, but at the same time here Karnataka government has withdrawn the permission given to the CBI and handed over the case to Lokayukta. When Lokayukta also is investigating and CBI is also investigating. That is unfair. I have already asked that again they have appealed before the court because CBI doesn't have any powers to investigate when it has been withdrawn. Let me see the matters in the court.
Also, sir, with respect to Tamil Nadu, they have said that they would be organizing a meet tomorrow to discuss the Cauvery issue. How do you see this?
I think I am very happy to inform you that today we are getting some good rains, good inflow is there. I think more or less we will respect the court. I think there will be no need of, we have been, though there is a shortage of 33% of water, but still the court has, the authority, as the regulatory authority has given 1 TMC of water. But as on today, from yesterday, we are getting some good inflow. Let us see.
So my final question, how prepared is the Congress to face the onslaught of the opposition with respect to the allegations?
Where is the allegation? All allegations are, they have the entire allegation is on them. we will show them. It is everything has started, all irregularities have started, the BJP rule. There is nothing in our government.
Thank you so much, sir. So that was the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, talking about how prepared Congress is to face the opposition's questions here with respect to the Karnataka Assembly session today. With camera person Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
The Mumbai police has filed a charge sheet in the Ghatkopar hoarding collapse case, which killed 17 people. In its 3,299-page charge sheet, the Mumbai police has said that, in fact, the branch has pointed out that and has alleged collusion of top officials in the government, railway, police, the GRP, Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, that's the BMC, and Ego Media Private Limited, that had put this entire hoarding and is responsible for May 13th tragedy. According to the charge sheet, and excavator was at work to set up the huge billboard when a tree in fact fell. The operator sent soft soil and recommended a soil check so that the building in fact plans can be accordingly tweaked to ensure stability of the huge structure. This check would have taken 15 days. Despite this, the director of Ego Media and the main accused ignored these warnings and went ahead without conducting the required soil testing, eventually resulting in the death of innocent people.
The Ghatkopar hoarding collapse incident happened in May, killing 17 and injuring more than 70 people, has now taken a new turn where the investigation team, the special team that was formed by the Mumbai Crime Branch Unit, has filed a charge sheet of consisting 3,299 pages, which highlights several other aspects that were investigated, that were found out before the hoarding was installed at this particular site where I'm standing. And also the charge sheet now states that there was a soil check that was necessary, which was not done, and also the JCB operator and excavator is among more than those 100 witnesses whose statements feature in the police charge sheet, where it was him who did warn the officials, the GRP officials, about a soil test that was necessary, but it was not done. And also this particular contract was given to Bhavesh Bhinde without any soil check being conducted, and who exactly was the authority behind this particular matter seems to be in the question here, where now Kaisar Khalid, the former GRP commissioner, and also several BMC officials, as well as a collusion with Bhavesh Bhinde and the contractor Janvi Marathe, has been found out. And at present, the special investigative team is also mentioned in his charge sheet that it was not only the Bhavesh Bhinde's inclusion in this matter, but also the BMC officials. Are they included or not is also a big question in this particular matter, where it killed 17. And also, why did the GRP officials allow the placement of this particular hoarding, even though the excavator did inform about the soil check that was necessary, that when a tree fell in the same area where 4 of these giant hoardings were placed up before them being placed up, and yet a soil test was not done, which would require 15 days of it. And because of in a hurry and without any proper tendering process, it was handed over to Ego Media Private Limited for the installation of this hoarding, raises even big question. And at present, the special investigative team has now filed a charge sheet of 3,299 pages in a Mumbai court, highlighting the several issues that led to this giant hoarding, that is 120 by 120 feet, coming down. And also now further investigation will be carried out in the same manner, and also stating what all exactly led to this giant hoarding coming down.
News from Punjab, where interstate weapon smuggling, in fact, a module, a gang has been busted. The weapon smuggling gang was backed by Lakhbir, another terrorist. In fact, Lakhbir is wanted by the National Investigation Agency. Cops have arrested 2 suspects with 6 sophisticated guns. The weapon dealer has been identified, and the hunt to nab him is on. Let me go across to my colleague Gurpreet Singh China, who is joining us with more details on this. Gurpreet, now this has been a worry as far as Punjab government is concerned, increasing gun crimes in the state. What are you picking up from your sources?
Well, very clearly, this is a Canada-based terrorist, Lakhvir Landa's associate. We have seen yesterday, Jalandhar police, they have arrested some people in this case, and after that, they were getting all the leads. Today, what we have seen, a few people have been arrested by the police near the border area, specifically in Tarantaran and district Amritsar, and they were able to recover weapons from their possessions. And during the course of investigation, they have learned from Madhya Pradesh these people are sourcing this weapon, and specifically they are working on these leads. And one of the persons, he has already confessed to the police also that weapon smuggling from Madhya Pradesh and other area, they are buying all these weapons from there. So now the investigation has been taken to just get the details for the sources of these weapons. So let's the police probe, and after that there will be clarity whether there is a cross-border involvement or there is some other angle behind this whole sourcing of weapon by these criminals, and they are performing the criminal activities in the state with these illegal weapons they are procuring from the various other parts of the country.
Thank you so much for joining us with all those details. Slipping into a short break at this moment. News and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned.
It's Modi 3.0 government's first budget. On today's show, we focus on what lies ahead for taxpayers. We get you wish list of the salaried class and the potential tax reforms they can expect. Watch NDTV's pre-budget series, Budget of Hope, today at 6:30 p.m.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Get the magic of the best working for you now.
Link your payment cards once, collect rewards forever.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News App. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
जब सैमसंग की शुरुआत हुई इन द ईयर 1938, सैमसंग ने तब इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स वगैरह बनाना स्टार्ट नहीं किया था. इट वॉजंट टिल ईयर 1969 की सैमसंग इस फील्ड में आया. अब आप सोच रहे हैं कि उससे पहले सैमसंग क्या करता था? तो लेट मी टेल यू, सैमसंग ने बहुत ही हम्बल बिगिनिंग्स के साथ अपनी शुरुआत की थी. बेसिकली दे वर इनटू शुगर रिफाइनिंग, टू टेक्सटाइल्स, हम बात करते हैं वेजिटेबल्स की या फिर फ्लावर की.
Former United States President Donald Trump landed in Milwaukee on Sunday for the Republican National Convention, a little more than 24 hours after he was wounded in a failed assassination attempt. He is scheduled to address the convention on Thursday. Meanwhile, the Secret Service has said it doesn't plan to change the security plan for the convention. In an interview with the New York Post after surviving an assassination attempt, Donald Trump has said that he isn't supposed to be here, and he is supposed to be dead. The shooting left one bystander dead, 2 wounded, and Trump himself naked on the air.
My fellow Americans, I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics. And to remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. We're neighbors, we're friends, co-workers, citizens, and most importantly, we're our fellow Americans. We must stand together. Yesterday's shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania calls on all of us to take a step back. Take stock of where we are, how we go forward from here. Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously injured. I spoke with him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers.
This is a national special security event. That designation is the highest level of security designation that the federal government can determine. So we are confident in these security plans that are in place for this event, and we're ready to go. It's been an 18-month process. We've worked together over that 18 months to develop operational security plans for any and all aspects of security related to this event.
Some breaking news coming in. Actor Rakul Preet's brother has been detained in connection with a drug case. In fact, Amanpreet Singh has been detained in a drug abuse case, accused of buying cocaine, is what we are learning from our sources. Let's very quickly go across to my colleague Abira, who is joining us with more details. Abira, not the first brush of Bollywood with drugs kind of a case, or this kind of highlights being coming in from Bollywood, but give us details about this person and the reactions that you are picking up.
Okay, let's start with Rakul Preet first. We have reached out to Rakul Preet, but there has been no response. The PR team has refused to respond to us at this moment. Yes, Rakul Preet's brother Amanpreet Singh and also 4 others have been arrested today by Hyderabad police on Monday in connection with the drug case, alleged drug case. Aman and other accused have earlier they were found with 2.6 kg of cocaine. They were bringing it into Hyderabad for sale. That's what it said. Police also held a press meet and specifically mentioned Rakul Preet's brother's name. And there were also, the police team has also busted the drug racket and identified 30 customers of the contraband, which included Amanpreet Singh. So now they have been tested. The police said that, in the urine test kit, all of them were found positive and they have been taken into custody. Now they're sending them to the detailed medical examination. So after that, they will be sent into police custody. After that, they'll be sent to the court. So this is the update right now, but we'll be constantly following up. But yeah, like you said, this is not the first time Bollywood have got involved with it. This has happened quite many times now.
But that's a huge amount of cocaine. I mean, in fact, this amount, of course, the charges would be very, very severe, because this is for, in fact, selling and with purpose to, in fact, distribute this amount. Has there been, any reaction as far as the police is concerned?
No, this is what the police said. The police gave information to the media today after holding a press conference. But other than that, we don't have any information. They have said that these 5 people who have tested positive of drugs, and also the anti-narcotics department found the 2.6 kg of cocaine, being brought to Hyderabad for sale. So, and there are 30 other people who are involved in this, whose names have not been mentioned.
Okay.
The people whose name have been mentioned are Amanpreet Singh, Aniket Reddy, Prasad Madhusudan, and Nikhil Daman.
Abira, thank you for joining us. Shocker coming in there, in fact, as far as Hyderabad is concerned. Actor Rakul Preet Singh's brother has been accused and he has been detained in connection with the cocaine possession case. We'll track details on this. With that, we're slipping into a short break. News and updates will continue here on NDTV. Stay tuned.
It's Modi 3.0 government's first budget. On today's show, we focus on what lies ahead for taxpayers. We get you wish list of the salaried class and the potential tax reforms they can expect. Watch NDTV's pre-budget series, Budget of Hope, today at 6:30 p.m.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India, one world hygiene.
The biggest democratic exercise in the world. Team NDTV covers it from ground zero.
BJP really had to fight a tough election this time.
Unprecedented exercise. Unmatched coverage.
There is no dispute. जनता को decide करना है.
From polling to counting, NDTV brought you the most trustworthy news and updates. Elections mean NDTV.
फ्रेंड्स, इट्स टाइम नाउ फॉर माय फेवरेट बेट और ये है आस्क टीजी। बेसिकली द सेगमेंट जहां पे मैं आपके सवालों के जवाब देता हूं जो आपने पूछे होते हैं ऑल अक्रॉस सेंटर।
Welcome to NDTV's pre-budget special, The Budget of Hope. We are counting down to Finance Minister's budget presentation on the 23rd of this month. And on this show, we look at personal tax and what are the expectations of the salaried segment of taxpayers. Will your tax burden increase or will you get tax relief? We will explore the key expectations and concerns of salaried individuals regarding potential tax reforms and break it down for our viewers in the simplest, non-jargonish format. Our panel of experts will provide an analysis on what changes might be in the horizon and what are the key demands of people regarding personal tax. Joining me on the show will be Ashish Killa, Director of the Perfect Group, Himanshu Parekh, Partner, Tax, KPMG in India, Abhay Chandalia Jain, Managing Director of Share Samadhan Limited, and Alok Agarwal, Partner in Deloitte, India. But before I go across to my panel of experts, let's listen into what people on the ground are actually demanding. We have curated a number of voices of the salaried middle class and what their expectations are from this budget in terms of personal tax. Listen into some voices coming in from the national capital.
What are your expectations from the upcoming budget with respect to personal tax?
Yeah, what we are looking for is that there should be a relief for the middle class, primarily because the taxation as of now is pretty high, and this particular class is the most taxed class, the low middle and the middle. I feel that we need to have some sort of relief in this so that these people can have some more expenditure and savings also. Thank you.
In which field do you work in?
I'm a banker.
All right, great. So, ma'am, with respect to the upcoming budget, personal tax से आपकी क्या expectations हैं?
इसमें ऐसे टैक्स सैलरीड के लिए अप टू 15 लाख तक है ना टैक्स रिबेट होनी चाहिए, और ये इसमें ये भी बोल रहे हैं जैसे हाउसिंग लोन ये लेते हैं हम तो उसमें भी टैक्स डिडक्ट होता है, उसमें भी बोल रहे हैं कि इंटरेस्ट वाला वो नए न्यू न्यू स्लैब में जो आया है कि जो इंटरेस्ट इनकम पे जो हमें वो रिबेट मिलती है वो भी हमें मिलनी चाहिए, और मतलब वो बंद नहीं करनी चाहिए। वो बोल रहे हैं बंद हो जाएगी, इंटरेस्ट इनकम पे जो रिबेट मिलती है वो बंद हो जाएगी न्यू स्लैब में, न्यू राइम में, न्यू टैक्स राइम में, तो वो नहीं होनी चाहिए।
आप किस फील्ड में काम करती हैं?
मैं इंजीनियर हूँ एक, और मैं पावर डिपार्टमेंट में काम करती हूँ, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी डिपार्टमेंट में, और यही उम्मीद है कि आने वाले बजट में टैक्स में कुछ हमें मतलब जो हम टैक्स पे कर रहे हैं उसमें कुछ रिडक्शन मिले डेफिनेटली, एंड जो स्लैब्स हैं वो थोड़े एक्सपैंड किए जाएं, जो हमें एग्जेम्पशन मिलता है, यही उम्मीद है एक।
So personal tax relief, how much do you expect, or is it going fine now as it has been?
The limit for 2.5 at least it should be increased, and people who are in 30% slab or above, they will be getting relief if we can increase this at least 80 part.
Expectations from the upcoming budget, as they did not get much tax relief in the interim budget of 2024. Will the finance minister offer income tax relief to the salaried class on July 23rd, or will the taxpayers need to adjust their old-time favorite expectations? Questions that will be answered on the union budget on July 23rd.
Right, let me go across to my panelists now, and I'll introduce them once again. Ashish Killa, Director of the Perfect Group; Himanshu Parekh, Partner Tax, KPMG in India; Abhay Chandalia Jain, Managing Director of Share Samadhan Limited; and Alok Agarwal, Partner Deloitte India. Thank you to all of you for joining me on the show. First question to Ashish Killa. Considering this is Modi government facing coalition compulsions for the first time, can we expect any major tax relief in this budget?
So I think just to give you a background, I think the government, even the Revenue Secretary, has made it very clear that they want to move to a simplified tax regime. And the benefit which the government and a coalition setup might want to give to the rural household or to rural folk would be more in terms of schemes and welfare schemes targeted towards helping out the poor people, helping out the lower middle class. But in terms of tax regime, if you see in the past few years also, they have tried to make the new tax regime more and more attractive by tinkering with the threshold limits, by allowing standard deduction. So what we expect is that the government will again maybe try to make it more lucrative in terms of improving the threshold limit for standard deduction or tax slabs, but rather than tinkering with the old tax regime. And the benefit would be to poor people would be given via more welfare schemes and other objectives of the government.
Right. Himanshu Parekh, coming to you now, do you actually see a probability of tax slabs increasing or a tax rate rejig? Because we've not seen a tax rate hike for several years now. So considering that background, do you see that in this budget, there will be a distinct difference this time around compared to what we saw in the interim one?
Clearly, that is a key expectation of the masses from this budget. Having said which, what we need to appreciate is that if you look at the old tax regime, while the basic exemption slab is only 2.5 lakhs, and under the new regime, the basic exemption slab is 3 lakhs. The matter of fact is that under the old regime, if you take into account the rebate which is available to taxpayers, plus the deduction under section 80C, plus the standard deduction of 50,000 rupees, then taxpayers earning up to 7 lakh rupees don't pay any income tax. Similarly, under the new regime, having regard to the tax rebate which is available up to 7 lakhs, plus the standard deduction up to 50,000 rupees, for taxpayers earning up to 7.5 lakhs, they don't pay any income tax at all. Now, obviously, there are expectations that the slab rate should be further revised, there should be a further relaxation thereon, the rate of tax should be reduced, so on and so forth. And as Ashish said, I would like to believe that clearly the government's intention is to move to the new regime from the erstwhile regime, and therefore I would not expect any tinkering in terms of the deductions available to taxpayers, be it in the form of section 80C or any other deductions that were available to salaried taxpayers. What the government may try and do is make the new tax regime slightly more attractive so that they are able to leave little more cash in the hands of taxpayers and thereby spurring consumption in the economy.
Right.
But all in all, I don't expect too many changes on that front in this budget.
Okay, point taken. In fact, let me take that question, that point that Himanshu touched upon to Alok Agarwal. You know, this is one of the moot points which is coming across, and also we put that up in the graphics that we are carrying of the key expectations of taxpayers, that a lot of them have not migrated to the new tax regime because they still feel that they are able to save more under the old tax regime. So what exactly can the government do? You know, if their attempt is to do away with confusion, make it simpler for the taxpayer, that has not really been achieved by the new tax regime so far. So what exactly can the government do in this budget this time around in order to make the new tax regime more attractive for taxpayers?
Sure. So, firstly, I agree with the general comments that they will be looking to make the new tax regime more attractive, to get more and more taxpayers to shift from the old regime to the new regime. One of the reasons or intentions of the government under the new regime was to keep it simple without having to review and scrutinize claims for deductions and exemptions, let's say based on documentation, based on satisfaction of conditions, the scope for, let's say, tax avoidance that may have. So keeping that in mind, it is still possible for the government to sweeten the deal, if I may, under the new regime by introducing some deductions. A simple example could be, let's say, a deduction of 50,000 rupees that is available when an individual contributes to NPS, which is there under the old regime, and that is not under the new regime. Now, again, this government has been trying to incentivize the NPS scheme over the years, and that could be a simple way they could provide additional benefit under the new regime and at the same time achieve their objective of making the NPS more popular. Similarly, there could be a couple of other financial-oriented deductions that they could provide under the new regime where they don't really need to scrutinize any claims because that data is very easily coming to the government and being captured in the AIS, TIS and other documents.
Right. Let me take the next question that I have to Abhay Chandalia Jain, Managing Director of Share Samadhan. There's also, besides all the other expectations that we have talked about, there's also a growing demand of expecting changes in the capital gains tax. Can the salaried segment expect their voice to be heard on that front from the finance minister this time around? And this is important for market buoyancy as well, that we've seen that there's been a lot of interest in how the market is doing of late. So is that a fair demand from the taxpayer side, which the government may heed this time?
Yes, you know that after paying all the taxes, we pay GST. After that, we pay the proper income tax. And whatever money is left over, we are investing in the capital market. And since the market is growing, everybody is earning. So the tax present structure is, again, I will say it is on a higher side. Looking at the total market cap, which is more than the GDP of the country, with the total tax collection under capital gain will increase further. So I will suggest the government to bring some changes, whether increasing, whether it should be reduced. Earlier, the long-term capital gain was totally tax-free. So they put the taxes on that. So I request the government should bring down the capital gain taxes. It's not only the share market. On the real estate part also, the capital gain should be reduced. Recently, there was one event in Mumbai in which somebody has asked our honorable finance minister about that, how much money they are paying to the government as a taxes and how much money a share broker is earning. So share broker is earning out of the trading done by the shareholders or market traders itself. So you understand how much a person is paying the total tax if that person calculate. First, we are paying 18% GST. After that, we are paying almost 25 to 35%. It goes up to as high as 40% total taxes. So after paying total 58% taxes, and after that again on the investment made by us, we are bound to pay so much of capital gain tax. So I expect that it should come down.
Also, another moot point, in fact, let's get down to the brass tacks as to what people really want. They want to save more. So in terms of the tweaks, there's a demand for tweaking the section Section 80C, which has been last amended in 2015, on the basic exemption limits. Currently, it's capped at 1.5 lakh. Given the circumstances that we are, as I mentioned, that it is a coalition government this time around, and there's, of course, inflation that the government has to come to terms with. Ashish Kila, do you see there any chance of the basic exemption limits being rejigged?
See, the government, as you clearly mentioned in the beginning, has now the election result which coalition parties also will have. So clearly, I think tax increases is not to be expected in terms of helping out the economy, giving more purchasing power to the people. The rejig, which my other panelists also mentioned, will be to maintain, make it more attractive. So, for example, above 15 lakhs limit, we're charging 30%. And maybe there could be another slab where we say 15 to 20 lakhs is say 20%. And then beyond that, which we move up the tax rates. So if you see overall the country, among the 140 crore population, not even 6 to 7% are paying income tax. So clearly the government also realizes by rationalizing the tax slabs, by making it more attractive, you will improve compliance. And also another better way to collect taxes is maybe indirect taxes, like a honeybee collecting honey from flowers and without pinching anybody else. So I think that is the way forward in terms of how you move towards an efficient tax collection system from everyone in the country.
Right, that also brings in the question whether there's a need for widening the tax net. That, of course, includes several other aspects and even political decisions that the government might have to consider. We'll slip into a short break at this point, but continue this very important conversation on the other side. Stay tuned.
Get ready for the ride of your life. NDTV brings you the NDTV Auto Show with me, Mugdha Mishra. From the fastest supercars to the sleekest new energy vehicles to your trusted daily ride, we cover it all. Every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and Sunday at 8:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7. Your next great escape starts here.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News App. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
This is about Samsung smartphones and Samsung smartphones I'm sure the user base is huge. तो हो सकता है आपके पास या आपके किसी फैमिली मेंबर के पास भी Samsung का फोन हो. All you need to do is to just punch in a very secret code, as this code is *#0*#. The moment you put it into your dialer, आपके सामने एक अलग menu open हो जाएगा. And guys, this is a very in-depth diagnostic menu for Samsung smartphones. ये बहुत ज़्यादा important हो सकता है if you are trying to buy a second-hand phone or maybe you're trying to sell your phone and you want to prove to the buyer कि आपके phone में कोई problem नहीं है. So basically, within this menu, you have multiple submenus enabling you to test the phone thoroughly. From display to touchscreen to camera to sensors, you can essentially diagnose everything in just one go very easily. बहुत interesting यहाँ पे आपको details मिलने वाली हैं. You can check for the sound output, maybe the vibration motor, anything you want to try. यहाँ पे आपको सब चीजें मिल जाएंगी. But mind you, ये सभी Samsung phones में नहीं है, but mostly में काम करता है. एंड एक और चीज वो ये कि इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड एनीथिंग, अगर आपको कुछ समझ में ना आए तो प्लीज डोंट डाइव डीप, और मे बी यू कैन चेंज अ सेटिंग इन अ नेगेटिव वे. तो वो मत करना.
Welcome back. You're watching NDTV's pre-budget special, where we are focusing on personal tax and what are some of the top expectations from people as far as personal tax is concerned. In fact, the shots playing on your screen right now is a meeting which was held just a few days back. Prime Minister Modi chaired this meeting where he met the top economists in order to have consultations as to what are some of the aspects that they can keep in mind ahead of the budget presentation on July 23rd. So those Finance Minister, of course, also part of that meeting along with several senior Finance Ministry officials. Before I continue with my conversation with our top panelists, let's also listen in to what Mumbaikars have to say as far as their expectations from the budget is concerned, as far as personal tax is concerned in this budget.
What are your expectations from the upcoming budget?
Sir, my major expectations for Mumbai, as a citizen of Mumbai and Maharashtra in particular, are that Mumbai has been paying a lot of taxes to the government, and they should get their fair share back, because Mumbai as a growing city requires lots of facilities like infrastructure, in light of lot of real estate development.
Do you agree with that sort of analysis that last, let's say, if not just 10 years, but last few years have specifically been slightly tougher for the middle class salaried individual as compared to how was the situation before?
Yeah, surely. If you look at this new tax regime that has been brought in by previous year, if you see that all the investments, all the exemption allowances has been wiped off, and it's more of the market-driven budget for the salaried individual rather than a public budget. So if I want to save, I have to save it on my own. And if you see in general Indian perception, if you'll see, the Indian public does not save on their own. They do if it is compliance to save some sort of taxes and all. And if the new regime, if you see, there are no exemption, no allowances as per se, something there. So for sure, this will prove fatal for their future savings and retirements and also.
This individual salaried person, अगर आप देखोगे तो इंडिया में अराउंड 80 लाख सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर्स हैं जो कि अच्छे खासे पैकेज पे वर्क करते हैं, तो उनके लिए जब इनकम टैक्स की बात होती है, बजट की बात होती है, तो उनके लिए गवर्नमेंट क्या कर रही है? क्योंकि जो भी आप कहीं भी ले लो, बेंगलोर, मुंबई, गुड़गांव, जहाँ भी जाओगे तो उनको अपनी फैमिली चलानी है, घर भी देखना है, खुद के भी सब काम होते हैं. तो उस लिहाज से देखें तो गवर्नमेंट से हम अपेक्षा करते हैं कि जो 80C में लिमिट गवर्नमेंट ने कर रखी है अभी लास्ट 10 ईयर से, जो है वो 1.5 लाख ही है. सो हम सोचते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट इसको डबल करे या जितना भी करेगी तो उतना थोड़ा बोझ कम होगा.
Let me take my next question to Alok Agarwal. Alok, if we talk about HRA and the kind of break that people are expecting as far as HRA is concerned, should the government include tier 2 cities as well in the 50% HRA exemption limits? Because the list of metro cities is still limited to 4, which is quite ridiculous in today's time and age. So is that one of the key demands that you see emerging in all the surveys and studies that you have done ahead of the budget this time?
Yes, Tanima, that's right. In fact, it is one of the top requests from, especially from taxpayers in cities like Bengaluru, given that they have still to reconcile with the 40% rate as compared to the 50% rate, which is allowed in the metro cities of Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, and Kolkata. So from an HRA exemption perspective, they relatively get a smaller exemption. And as you have rightly pointed out, given the growth in cities like Bengaluru, given the cost of living increases, there is a very strong case for aligning that to the 50% rate which is available to the 4 metros. But having said that, we had discussed earlier that this government has not been looking at giving any additional reliefs under the old regime. So that remains the overriding concern, whether if that remains the thinking, then it may not be considered, even though there's a very strong case for that.
Right. So the focus might be more on improving on the new tax regime so they can slowly phase out the old tax regime instead of making more changes to the old one. So that is, of course, an aspect that needs to be looked at. But Himanshu Parekh, if we talk about women, You know, we have heard the Prime Minister saying time and again that women, youth are key constituencies for the government. So in terms of tax benefits for women, what can the Finance Minister offer?
That's a very, very pertinent point that you raise, Tanima, and perhaps the government may in the budget introduce some special incentive for women, be it in the form of a higher slab rate or be it a higher standard deduction, or wherever women have houses in their own name, allowing them the deduction of higher interest on borrowed money for investing in houses, so on and so forth. That is quite a possible scenario and something which the government should certainly focus on. Tanima, there were a couple of other points that I had in my mind. Can I raise those topics as well?
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So the one thing that I wanted to talk about is this entire issue of taxation of ESOPs. Today, what happens is that ESOPs are taxed in the hands of a taxpayer upon exercise of the options and allotment of the shares. But at that point in time, the taxpayer does not receive any monetary consideration merely on exercise of ESOPs. And this results in a liquidity crunch for the taxpayers. Now, in the past, some representations were made to the government to this effect, and there was some relaxation which was introduced to say that for employees, who work with qualified startups, for them, post exercise of the ESOPs, they have the flexibility to pay tax over a period of 4 years. And I think it is high time that we extend this benefit to all the taxpayers, whether they work with qualified startups or not. That's an expectation of all the taxpayers who earn ESOPs from their employers. So that's one point I just wanted to bring it to your notice.
Right, and I hope the right quarters in the government are listening to all our experts on this show. And let me take in the last question. We have very less time left on the show, but the last question to Abhay Chandalia Jain. The cost of healthcare has in fact risen, but we have not seen commensurate increases in terms of deduction limits in medical insurance. So is that something that you feel that the government should look into, especially now that we're living in a post-COVID era?
Yes, definitely, because the cost of insurance has also gone up, number one. There are many people who do not take the Mediclaim policy also. So the government should, first of all, make more awareness about the health insurance to be taken, number one. Number two is, if due to any reason, because of ignorance of the law or ignorance of the financial literacy, etc. and all, they don't take the insurance, and one day they suffer and pay few hundreds or thousands or lakhs of rupee on the health treatment. So there should be some provision on, in case somebody has not taken that policy, then there should be some provision that other person can take the medical benefit on production of the bill, or that can be also linked, like now in AIR and most of the information is coming up. In the same way, now everything is linked to Aadhaar and Aadhaar is linked to ITR. So that expenses incurred on health can be taken benefit. Definitely, the Mediclaim deduction should also be increased, because need of the hour. Now everybody, one person policy you are taking is 25 lakh rupees may cost 30-40,000 rupees. And the moment age is become more and you are becoming senior citizen, the total cost may go to even 1 lakh rupees also.
Right. Okay. So before I wrap the show, I just want 30-second responses from all of you in terms of your final thoughts on what should be the top priority for the government this time around when they are looking at personal tax, if any rejig is on the cards. Starting with Ashish first.
So 30-second quickly, rationalize the tax slabs, raise the initial exemption limits, improve the sun deduction, and make the new tax structure more tax friendly so that more people, the majority is still for old, so that they can move to the new tax regime, make it more attractive.
Okay, Himanshu?
Make the new tax regime more friendly and ease tax compliances for taxpayers.
Okay. Abhay?
Make one India, one tax, one payment, one return, nothing more.
Okay. And
so for an entrepreneur, it becomes a one point responsibility that they have to pay that much. Based on the turnover, it can be linked. So so many compliances should be done.
Right.
compliances are very costly.
A more simpler tax slab for that matter. Alok Agarwal.
If I have to just choose one request, then I would request that the tax slabs and things like the standard deduction should be aligned at least to the inflation rate so that they keep going up as per the inflation and people don't lose out.
Okay, all right. So point taken. Very quick snap poll of sorts that we did right now with our panel of experts. And thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on the first of NDTV's pre-budget series, looking at what are the top expectations from the Finance Minister this time around. We were, of course, looking at personal tax. And we'll keep coming back with more on this special series and special broadcast that NDTV is bringing ahead of the budget. For the moment, we'll be heading into a short break. News and updates will continue right here on NDTV.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News App. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
जब सैमसंग की शुरुआत हुई इन द ईयर 1938, सैमसंग ने तब इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स वगैरह बनाना स्टार्ट नहीं किया था. इट वॉजंट टिल ईयर 1969 कि सैमसंग इस फील्ड में आया. अब आप सोच रहे हैं कि उससे पहले सैमसंग क्या करता था? तो लेट मी टेल यू, सैमसंग ने बहुत ही हम्बल बिगिनिंग्स के साथ अपनी शुरुआत की थी. बेसिकली दे वर इनटू शुगर रिफाइनिंग, टू टेक्सटाइल्स, हम बात करते हैं वेजिटेबल्स की या फिर फ्लावर की या फिर इनफैक्ट इवन नूडल्स. Yes, you heard it right, noodles. Samsung ने बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ें ट्राई करी and eventually in the year 1969 they entered into the space for electronics, जहाँ पे Samsung ने फिर बाद में ब्रेक नहीं लगाए. We got refrigerators, TVs, radios, smartphones and today you know Samsung is so big कि Samsung बहुत कुछ बनाता है. In fact, Burj Khalifa was also made by the Samsung group. और आज मुझे लगता है कि almost every household has at least one Samsung product or maybe a product जिसमें अंदर कोई Samsung का component लगा होगा. This is how huge Samsung is right now. So next time you're using a Samsung smartphone while scrolling through social media, just think about that noodle जो Samsung पहले ट्रेड किया करता था. And from there, today, the kind of giant it has become. Did you know this? If yes, then amazing. If no, then please let me know. You know the address.
This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Actor Rakul Preet's brother has been arrested in cocaine case. Aman Preet has been arrested in Hyderabad Brakbust. He has been arrested for possession and consumption of cocaine. The Karnataka Tamil Nadu water wars have intensified. Karnataka denies Tamil Nadu its Cauvery share. MK Stalin, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, has called for all-party meet tomorrow. Karnataka has said that the state's first priority will be farmers. Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar speaks exclusively to NDTV. DK Shivakumar questions CBI action against him. He has also rubbished allegations against Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Hindenburg short selling case, Supreme Court's firm no to SIT probe. Supreme Court rejected demand for court-monitored CBI probe. In the Delhi hospital murder case, 2 accused have been arrested. Police said that killing is a case of mistaken identity. It was a gang rivalry that went wrong. Target was another patient. Accused were part of a criminal gang. Donald Trump assassination attempt probe. FBI says shooter's motive is not clear yet. FBI is probing co-conspirator angle. Through initial leads indicate shooter was acting alone. FBI has also said the assault rifle was purchased legally. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we discuss an issue that is deeply emotive for Tamils and also people of Karnataka. The waters of Cauvery that have led a litigation battle for over 20 years, political issue that has been debated for over 150 years. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has condemned the neighbouring Karnataka government for not releasing water in the Cauvery due to Tamil Nadu. In fact, he has also called for an all-party meeting in the Secretariat in Chennai tomorrow to discuss and decide the future course of action. Meanwhile, Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has convened an all-party meeting on Sunday to discuss issues related to the Cauvery Water Regulation Committee's directive to the state to release the court-mandated share of Cauvery river water to Tamil Nadu daily till this month end. Now, what is this matter all about? Well, it's a long-standing battle, but in a gist, while there have been agreements even hundreds of years ago, last year, the Supreme Court asked Karnataka to continue releasing 5,000 cusecs of water from the Cauvery River to Tamil Nadu for 15 days in line with decisions of the Cauvery Water Regulation Committee and the Cauvery Water Management Authority. Now, this evoked strong reactions from certain sections of Karnataka, specifically the farmers. Karnataka told the Supreme Court then that the daily flow of 5,000 cusecs of water to Tamil Nadu was against its own interest. The state, especially in urban areas like Bengaluru, was on the brink of a drinking water crisis. That's what the state told the court. On the other hand, Tamil Nadu is mainly dependent on the release of water by Karnataka, particularly during the southwest monsoon, as it falls under the rain shadow region in the season. But more than that, Cauvery is also a symbol of culture, shared lives, and assurances of a livelihood, mainly for Tamil Nadu, but also for Karnataka. So, is a solution to this dispute even possible? Will sitting together across the table help? Remember, both the ruling party in Karnataka, Congress party, and DMK in Tamil Nadu are India allies. Now, how is the politics of this going to play out? That is what we ask tonight. We have a panel of esteemed guests, experts joining us. But first, here are some reactions.
I think I'm very happy to inform you that today we are getting some good rains, good inflow is there. I think more or less we will respect the court. I think there will be no need of, we have been, though there is a shortage of 33% of water, but still the court has, the authority, as the regulatory authority has given 1 TMC of water. But as on today, from yesterday, we are getting some good inflow. Let us see.
So we have Saravanan Annadurai of the DMK joining us, also Surabhi Hodagere of the BJP. Thank you so much for joining me on this debate. Saravanan, to you first. Now, this has been a long-standing debate. What does the Chief Minister also aim to achieve with this all-party meeting, sir? Because clearly Karnataka has said that, it is not really in a position to release water. Of course, that is violative of the Supreme Court's directions. What is your approach going to be in this regard? Because the state is also saying that it is facing water crisis and the monsoon has not been great enough.
The only purpose, the main purpose of this all-party meeting tomorrow is to ensure that the entire people, the entire political voice of the state of Tamil Nadu comes in one single unison. We don't want disparate voices speaking so many other things in the state of Tamil Nadu. See, of course, when we look at Karnataka, they are very united. They may have political differences, but they are very, very united. But that does not, we are not able to get that in the state of Tamil Nadu, especially with the BJP. If the water issue is a festering issue, that is because of the politics played out by the BJP. When the case, Karnataka Cauvery water case came up before the Supreme Court directed the Attorney General to constitute the Water Board Authority, which will have the control over the reservoir in 3 days and report back. The Attorney General said yes and went back. But the BJP government, realizing what will happen if that happens, reneged They said they will not do that. Only the parliament will be able to do it, and they formed an authority which does not have control over the reservoir. So the Karnataka, as usual, they are playing politics. That is the problem here. See, if like the other authorities, the Bakranangal authority or other authorities, where the reservoir control, the dam control, the shutter control is with the authority, then this kind of politics will not be played, cannot be played at all. Because as per the day, the authority will be dictated by the orders of the Supreme Court. Okay. They will go by the orders of the Supreme Court, but that is not happening here. The Karnataka government, see, the Supreme Court judgment is very clear, rain or shine. You have drought, we will share the drought. If there is excess, we will share it. That is how the lower riparian state cannot be left high and dry.
Right. We also have Brijesh Kalapa joining us. He is one of the counsel in Cauvery water dispute, also former legal advisor to the Karnataka Chief Minister. We also have Syed Asad Abbas, who supports Karnataka government, and also Kasturi Shankar, who's a social activist. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me on this show. To respond to what Mr. Saravanan Annadurai was saying, Surabhi, can you respond to this? Because, you know, I know that, you know, as a BJP person, this is not, this is not your conflict, because this is between DMK and Congress. But remember, I'm still aware what happened with Jallikattu. Anything that the courts do, anything that happens in Delhi is often attributed to the BJP. How careful are you? How careful is the party of ensuring that, you know, it is not blamed for the kind of crisis that farmers might have to face in Karnataka or in Tamil Nadu?
First and foremost, Vasudha, I don't speak merely as a BJP representative. I speak as a Kannadiga who is also a BJP representative, and it happens so that our party has very strongly stood by the interest of Karnataka and Kannadigas throughout the Cauvery issue. The same cannot be said about DMK's ally, the Congress party. Unfortunately, here in Karnataka, what is happening is that our cries are going unheard, whether irrespective of what happens in the monsoon season. If we have a deficit, we are asked to release a certain amount of water, whereas even when there is a surplus, we are asked to release a certain amount of water. The problem that we are facing here today is that these sort of archaic, sort of, generalized dictions are not going to work when there is a real crisis. Last year, we had deficit rainfall. We have severe farmers from a crisis who are layering because of the water issue. In such a situation, it was the right of the government to say that, look, this is the impending issues that we have, and therefore we cannot. And you spoke very rightly about Bengaluru and the water crisis in Bengaluru. We saw that this summer as well. The point that the BJP has strongly stood again for is that we will fight for the farmers of Karnataka. We will fight for the drinking water needs of Karnataka. That comes first for us, and that's unquestionable. On the all-party meeting that Tamil Nadu Tamil Nadu Chief Minister is chairing, I would not like to comment. But yesterday there was an all-party meeting here in Karnataka, and our BJP representatives have also attended this all-party meeting. The question I want to ask the Karnataka government through you is, when you say 8,000 caucuses, what is the truth of the matter? I don't think the Karnataka people are getting the truth at all, because there have been news reports as well as a lot of social media posts that 20,000 caucuses has been released through the Cauvery Dam. Now, water flow goes through KRS and Cauvery. So what is the reality of the situation? The Karnataka people are being kept in the blind. This was also an issue earlier this year, where we raised this in the assembly as well, that there was a lack of clarity on what is the total amount of water that is being released to Tamil Nadu. I feel that the Congress government has not been fair, and we need to have a more open, transparent communication first within each state and then with each other. And also the fact that
hang on for a second. Let me get the expert here, somebody who's worked on this. Brijesh Kalapa, the situation clearly is not easy for anyone, but Cauvery Delta farmers in Tamil Nadu also need water to save their short-term, Kuvai is what they say, and then they also need it for not just irrigation, but drinking water also. So clearly, it's not like only Karnataka needs water or Tamil Nadu needs water. How does one look at this from a very balancing point of view, sir, politics aside?
As far as the Cauvery water dispute is concerned, this is not a new dispute. The dispute has been on for over 150 years. So therefore, there have been several moments where there have been occasions of give and take. And this is how the dispute has continued and, has been kind of solved year after year after year. The main problem is this, that the Cauvery water disputes authority itself has given water to Karnataka on a 50-50 basis. That is, in 50% of the years, there is bound to be a distress. In 50% of the years, there's bound to be a surplus. So it is a contention of Karnataka that when a Mekedatu dam is constructed, which holds about 67 TMC, and whenever there is a shortfall in Tamil Nadu, this amount of water which is cumulatively held back can be used to release to Tamil Nadu. So essentially, it is a dam which is being constructed in Karnataka territory for the use of water in Tamil Nadu. Of course, some part of it will be used in Bengaluru and so on and so forth. This is the final solution to the Cauvery water dispute. However, this is also disputed by Tamil Nadu. Something which is inuring to the benefit of Tamil Nadu itself is being shot down. Can you imagine how much of difficulty there would be within Karnataka? For Tamil Nadu, a dam is being constructed in the border of the state, and then water has to be lifted back. So this is a little bit of a situation which is being created repeatedly by Tamil Nadu. Unless they agree to this complete final solution, I think this problem will be a perennial one.
Okay.
And it appears to me that Tamil Nadu does not want a solution.
Okay, let me go to Saravanan before I go to Kasturi and of course Abbas. Saravanan sir, how would you respond to that?
See, Meghadadu will not happen. Without the consent of the lower riparian state, Karnataka cannot build any new dams, and we will never agree. And however they may sugarcoat it. See, their politicians Bangalore is a city which is burgeoning. We welcome that. See, a lot of our brethren, Kannadigas are brethren and sisters. A lot of people from Tamil Nadu are there in Bengaluru working, and a lot of people from Bengaluru are here in the state, in Chennai, pursuing their livelihoods. But if the city is progressing, what happened to the planners, city planners? What happened to the governments? Why have they not found solutions?
Okay.
See, this cannot be without having any solution for how the water needs will be carried out. They cannot come and say we will build a dam here. That's still it's not acceptable, and the Supreme Court's judgment is very, very clear without the consent of the state of Tamil Nadu. And one more thing is this: the BJP government has always sided with Karnataka because they have got some stake there. In the state of Tamil Nadu, they always will draw a zero. But in Karnataka, they are getting half the seats and they are forming governments. At the other time, the Congress has said. So the BJP is biased towards Karnataka and does not see any water dispute. The union government should be the arbiter, an impartial arbiter. But we have a situation where the water minister is from the state of Karnataka.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kasturi Shankar, I'll come to you. Sirvi, quickly, would you like to respond to that? You know, when Saravanan says that the centre, the BJP government has always taken the side of Karnataka, because possibly, he didn't say that, but also because Tamil Nadu has also been hostile towards the BJP. Is that a reason?
Oh, I mean, if you're going to play politics...
unless your name is Kasturi, please don't talk. Thank you so much.
Kasturi, let me just take one quick reaction from Surbi and I'll come to you in a bit. Just one reaction, yes.
If you see only politics in this, that is the failing for all our farmers as well as everybody who wants to, benefit from this. The BJP is not looking at taking sides. Unfortunately for the DMK, the BJP is looking at a solution. And this has been said again and again by different union ministers that we need to find a solution that is reasonable. The Tamil Nadu representatives, whether it's the DMK or the AIDMK, I would like to ask them, what is your technical concern with respect to Mekedatu? Let's sit down and have a conversation and solve that. This has become an emotional issue, this has become a political issue, and this has become a never-ending issue because the Tamil Nadu politicians don't want it to die. That is where we are at. The BJP, sir, let me reinstate that the BJP is looking to find a solution which the DMK and any other Tamil Nadu politicians are not interested in finding.
Right. Kasturi, would you like to hold on to that? Saravanan, there are people waiting. I have to get them to also speak. Kasturi, how do you respond to the cultural, also war? When people say that this is Karnataka versus Tamil Nadu, I was looking at some stories. They say it's Namanir, and T. Ramakrishnan's book on Cauvery also talks about Cauvery being a pendulum from Karnataka to Cauvery. So there's a lot of cultural symbolism attached to it. How do you see this debate around Cauvery from purely the cultural perspective?
Okay, there were 3 people who spoke before me, and each of those people presented a picture of the Cauvery issue that came with their own agendas. Surabhi Hodikere is talking like a Kannadiga, not like a BJP person, not like a Indian,
I would like
not
to focus
like
on your
anything other than a
dissect what I
Kannadiga.
have said.
And
Thank you so
Saravanan
much.
Annadure is not talking as a Tamilian, he is talking as a DMK functionary. So between the two, the entire picture is lost. The only person who came close to what is factual is Mr. Brijesh Kallappa, and unfortunately, Mr. Brijesh Kallappa failed to mention why there is such distrust over the Meghdhatu issue. So let me first remind everybody on the panel and remind the people who are watching this debate that the Cauvery issue is something that has been going on for 150 years. And after many, let us say, right after independence, Tamil Nadu was allotted 2,000 TMC. Today, we are talking about an average rainfall year of 767 TMC, where Tamil Nadu is supposed to get 419. Where is the comparison? We are talking about 1/5 of what we were allotted, taking into account the successive years of recalculation of water to be distributed. So right now, this is not a question about good years. This year is going to be a good year. This is not about good years. This is about distress years. And the CWRC very clearly has said this. And Mr. Saravanan, this was during a time when BJP was nowhere in the picture, when the CWRC came up with how distress years should be treated, how the water should be allocated.
Right.
So don't just keep saying BJP. Let's talk about the real problem, which is a Tamil Nadu problem. As a Tamil person, have some conscience when you talk, okay? It's not about parties. All parties are talking for their own upper riparian and lower riparian rights. This is not about that.
Okay.
This is about how to get water shared during distress years.
Okay.
These days, the CWRC has very clearly said it, and the Supreme Court has sided Tamil Nadu, and not just Tamil Nadu, by the way. Karnataka is denying Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Puducherry their right for Cauvery water, which is
Asad Abbas, would you like to respond to that? She's saying that this is a problem.
When rain does not meet the required amount, you have to share the distress equally. You have to. You can't say we don't have enough, so we will take everything.
Asad Abbas, it's generally said that India is able to share waters with Pakistan and Bangladesh, but not within its own states. How do you see this, sir? Yes, Kasturi, yes.
You can't keep everything to yourself. Meghdhatu, the reason we distrust Meghdhatu as a lower riparian state is because every year Karnataka has defaulted on its
point taken. Asad Abbas, unmute yourself and please respond.
And every year they say, we don't have enough.
Can I make my point, please?
Yes, please.
All right, ma'am. Ma'am, unless your name is Syed Asad Abbas, allow me to answer now. Thank you. I heard you patiently. Vasudha, coming straight to the point, I've always believed with great power, there is great responsibility and equal accountability. Undoubtedly, we certainly do see this distress running long. I'm not going to side with any government here, be it the Karnataka government or also the Tamil Nadu government. We need to understand that there needs to be measures taken appropriately. The fact of the matter, the Congress government here in Karnataka laid out 8,000 cusecs of water. Of course, the Cauvery Tribunal appellate keeping withstanding the same. They have done their best. We need to understand the Cauvery Basin Reservoir is only 63% full. But if you compare it with the Kabini Dam Reservoir, which is 93% full, they've been able to release 20,000 cusecs of water. The Karnataka Congress government here, after following the all-party meeting, has done their best, and they have respected the mandate of the Cauvery Water Regional Committee. So therefore, we need to understand, if we need to come together, stop bickering over politics. I would say, this is not about Congress, this is not about BJP, this is not about those people who are here.
Okay, Brijesh Kallappa, is that the way forward? Because, is it time also, like Kasturi was also saying, it's also time for CWMA to, along with constituents, to finalize a district sharing formula. And, there is agreement in place. Is there a problem with implementation, sir? Because we have bodies, we have agreements. Then what is the problem here? I was talking to an expert and he said that, states also have to, maybe in some ways reduce their expectations. So is that one way to look at it? Tell me very, sort of in a very unbiased way.
The first thing is, Vasudha, that there is 740 TMC of water in the basin. Now the populations have grown, naturally the needs have grown. So this is a problem which is there perennially in all river water disputes, not just in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, whether it's the Rhine, whether it's the Tigris, whether it's the Euphrates, you have problems all over the world. So this is the first part. Second part is I'd like to, tell my dear friend, Mr. Saravanan, that as far as his interpretation, that we have to consult a riparian when we construct a dam in our area is completely wrong. This has been belied by the Supreme Court in 2009 SCC 572. This is a constitution bench judgment that no riparian state can say or dictate terms to another riparian state in the construction of a dam. So I think as far as this point of view of the Tamil Nadu government is concerned or Mr. Saravanan is concerned, it's completely wrong. And also, I think there has to be a principle of give and take. First thing is, I think it's a matter of fact, which I don't think people in Tamil Nadu, either in the studios or Mr. Saravanan, will ever accept, that insofar as the Krishna River, 5 TMC of water goes from Karnataka's share to Chennai, right? So we have to live with a sense of give and take. But now what do we get in return, right? So I think the first thing is that each one of us has to understand that we are all living in one constitutional country which is ruled by one constitution. So I think we have to watch out for each other and understand each other's concerns. Okay. I think this is the first thing we have to do, and unless that kind of spirit comes in, I think we are all doomed.
Saravanan, would you like to respond to that? Because, Karnataka has also approached the Supreme Court against the order, saying that it was anyway suffering from a shortfall of over 50% when it comes to its reservoirs. And it also said that Tamil Nadu has northeast monsoon, whereas it just has the southwest monsoon. So there are clearly many technicalities. And like Mr. Kallappa was also saying, that is it time to also increase trust in your own allies and probably look at this as a problem that people from the same region are facing and not really as rivals?
Vasudha, the issue is very clear. There is no dispute. It's not as though a new situation has cropped up. It was not considered by the Supreme Court. This has been a hotly contested matter for the last 20-25 years, and the Supreme Court has come out with a clear instructions, clear order, what you should do when there is distress, when there is surplus. The only problem is how Karnataka is politicizing it. Why I go on again and again harping on the BJP angle is this. See, a similar issue happened last year. Mr. Siddaramaiah, the Chief Minister, said we are going to release 10,000 cusecs. You know what Mr. Bommai said? We will protest. How can you give? Because you are in alliance with the DMK, are you releasing the water? This is the stand of the BJP. The BJP is the culprit here. They don't want anything to go without getting their political pound of flesh. If the BJP is an impartial arbiter, if the BJP allows these things to be settled, to be spoken between two chief ministers and be sorted out, we had done this earlier.
Okay. Surabhi has a point. Surabhi, would you like to respond to that? Surabhi.
May I just say that the DMK representatives' desperation to make this into a BJP spotlighted argument is completely failing. Sir, please don't. It's a disservice to our people to do politics on this matter. The point of the matter over here is how about we rise above politics both in Karnataka as well as Tamil Nadu and have a more people-focused thought process. There is an argument on making politics. Please tell me if your DMK should stop playing politics. Party has come to the same table on the Make It Atu project. Before you put it on your manifesto, did you consult your India Alliance partner, the Congress Party? Have you had a conversation on it? Have you had any sort of common plan on what you want to do for water? Okay. When you are in alliance with the Congress Party, and the BJP in Tamil Nadu has been very unequivocal about the fact that we need to find a solution. Nowhere in your argument am I seeing the need to find a solution or how that solution is going to come across. And yes,
okay, Mr. Saravanan, respond to that, please. I just have 30 seconds.
We will protest water from our farmers.
Okay, Surabhi, hold on to that. Let him respond to. Yes.
Yeah, see, Vasudha, the thing is this. As I told you, the solutions are already there. We don't need to find any new solution. The only
Sir,
thing is
if
the
there
way
is
to
one
implement,
party
and the
saying that
BJP
we
should
are not
stop
being
playing with
given
dirty
justice,
politics.
that
If the
does not
BJP
in any
here
court of law hold up
agreeable
the
to make
fact
it
that
happen,
this is
Okay,
does
sir,
the
we let him
BJP
finish.
Tamil Nadu
something
will
that came in
agreeable to
150
make it
years
happen?
ago cannot be held right now.
Can this
Changes the
spokesperson from the
population,
BJP say that?
the
That the BJP Tamil Nadu unit is supporting Meghdadu.
Okay, thank you
Let
so
it put
much,
on
all of
record.
you, for joining me on this show. Clearly, litigation over water can be avoided only with fixed distress sharing norms. But more than a political solution like we saw there, clearly needs to be fairness to the approach, which is why expert views become important. But more than everything, I think this is also an opportunity for states to put aside their differences and, like our panelists were saying, focus on pro-people solutions, sort out matters that truly unify them. It's time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
In America, we resolve our differences at the ballot box, not with bullets.
Get the magic of the best working for you now.
Link your payment cards once, collect rewards forever.
The biggest democratic exercise in the world. Team NDTV covers it from ground zero.
BJP really had to fight a tough election this time.
Unprecedented exercise. Unmatched coverage.
There is no dispute. जनता को decide करना है.
From polling to counting, NDTV brought you the most trustworthy news and updates. Elections mean NDTV.
फ्रेंड्स, इट्स टाइम नाउ फॉर माय फेवरेट बेट और ये है आस्क टीजी। बेसिकली द सेगमेंट जहां पे मैं आपके सवालों के जवाब देता हूं जो आपने पूछे होते हैं ऑल अक्रॉस सेंडिंग योर ईमेल्स ऑन सोशल मीडिया। तो हमारी टीम सब कुछ पिक कर लेती है एंड हर वीक मुझे मौका मिलता है आपके सवालों के जवाब देने का। लेट्स सी द काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस वी हैव दिस वीक एंड इफ आई एम प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर ऑल द आंसर्स और नॉट। Okay, so I'll give you first initial response, which is कि if everything is okay, मतलब आप जो earphones यूज कर रहे हैं 3 से 4 घंटे के लिए और अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम आप फेस नहीं कर रहे हैं in terms of audio या मे बी comfort, अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है तो मे बी यू कैन कंटिन्यू द सेम वे। आपको बोन कंडीशन की तरफ जाने की जरूरत नहीं है। बट या तो आप नया कुछ ट्राई करना चाहते हैं इसलिए जाना चाहते हैं बोन कंडीशन की तरफ, या फिर अगर आपको लगता है कि मे बी यू आर नॉट फीलिंग कंफर्टेबल एंड बोन कंडीशन कुड बी अ गुड आंसर, तो येस यू कैन ट्राई। बेसिकली ये टेक्नोलॉजी जो है इट वर्क्स वाया वाइब्रेशंस। तो ये जो आपकी बोन्स हैं यहाँ पे, इन पे जब वाइब्रेशन पड़ता है तो बेसिकली यू हियर द ऑडियो स्ट्रेट फ्रॉम योर इनर ईयर्स, बट आपके कान के अंदर आपने कुछ नहीं लगाया होता है। तो विच सिंपली मीन्स कि आपको आपके आसपास की सराउंडिंग की आवाज भी आने वाली है एंड द साउंड इज नॉट रियली टू थम्पी और बेसी आई वुड से। मतलब अगर आप म्यूजिक एंजॉय करते हैं फॉर एग्जांपल यूजिंग योर ईयरफोन्स तो योर एक्सपीरियंस इज वेरी इमर्सिव। लेकिन ओपन ईयर स्टाइल में या बोन कंडीशन जिनको हम बोलते हैं आपको इतना ज़्यादा इमर्सिव एक्सपीरियंस नहीं मिलेगा, बट एट द सेम टाइम यू वुड बी अवेयर ऑफ योर सराउंडिंग्स एज वेल और आपको जो आवाज है इट्स अ डिफरेंट सेंसेशन, यू विल बी हियरिंग स्ट्रेट टू योर इनर ईयर्स। अगर हम बात करते हैं ब्रांड्स या प्राइस पॉइंट की, आई वुड से
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In a startling turn of events in the US presidential race, the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump in Pennsylvania is being seen as this event that changes everything. During his campaign address, a 20-year-old fired a bullet that grazed Trump's right ear. Will this tragic event now bolster Trump's candidacy as he faces off against President Biden? Little is known about this accused. He is being described as a Republican sympathizer, but we really don't know who he was and if he really had any ties to any radical groups. Now, President Biden, of course, has called for toning down the political rhetoric and also not treat fellow Americans as rivals, while Trump has said that he was supposed to be dead. In fact, he has given an interview to New York Post, in fact, being grateful for his life. But does this change everything from here on? 120 days to go for US elections. Does this reset everything? That's what we will try and understand tonight. Joining me is, of course, Catherine Gibson, who's the Voice of America's congressional correspondent. We have Professor Peter Kuznick, who is Professor of History, Director in Nuclear Studies Institute, American University, Washington, D.C. And we also have Dr. Bharat Bharai, who is the chairperson of the US-India Community Foundation. Thank you all of you for joining me on this show. To you, Catherine, first, tell us how does everything from the ground look like? You are in Milwaukee, reporting from there on a very important event, the Republican convention. Tell us, how does everything change from here? What are people on the ground saying?
That's right. So the Republican National Convention is just getting kicked off here in Milwaukee, the very first day, Monday, and we're just getting a sense of some of the heightened security procedures. Of course, we already knew that this event was going to be high security, but it's even more tightened down now, walking through multiple security checkpoints just to get into this arena. And we know that we will be hearing later on today from the presumptive Republican nominee, Donald Trump. We're hearing also that he may announce his vice presidential pick as early as today. That will be a source of great excitement. He's telling people here in the U.S. that he's scrapped his convention speech, which had already been written before that assassination attempt, really reworking the focus of it to bring together Americans a message of unity. So, well, it's a little too early to see if this assassination attempt bolsters his election chances. It is already changing the way he runs his campaign.
Right. Professor Kuznick, over the last few months, a lot of us who have been following the U.S. election campaign very closely, we saw some very interesting critical debates around reproductive rights. We saw the debate on healthcare, of course, other things like immigration. How does this change that? Does this mean that the spotlight is completely on this assassination attempt? Does it also change the policy, the campaign around policy issues that was taking place in the last few months?
We have to remember that the discussion in the United States prior to this assassination attempt was all about whether Biden should run or not. After Biden's disastrous debate performance on June 27th, there was enormous pressure on him to step aside, let somebody more vigorous, younger, and more progressive replace him on the ticket. Now that discussion, for the time being at least, has stopped. And the question is where is Trump going to land on this? Are we going to see a new Donald Trump? Donald Trump has been a divider. He's been the most divisive figure in American political history in many, many decades, if not ever. And so he's been inflaming his partisan right-wing base. And now, is he going to step back from that? Is he really going to try to act like a unifier? Is he going to conciliate? Is he going to reach out to the Democrats? That would change the nature of this campaign. And so we're waiting to see which Donald Trump shows up at the convention. We've already seen some of his close allies, J.D. Vance, Tim Scott, Ted Cruz, one of Trump's sons, blaming this on the Democrats. We don't know. We'd have no idea what this guy's motives were. He's a registered Republican. 3 years ago, when he was 17, he gave a few dollars to some pro-democratic organization, but we know very, very little about him or his motives. So very much is uncertain right now. We don't know which direction this investigation is going to go. We don't know which direction Donald Trump is going to go. We don't know if the Democrats are going to tone down their rhetoric as well. So this is a very, very crucial and undecided moment right now in American politics.
Right. Catherine, President Biden currently trails in all opinion polls. Would replacing him with another candidate, would that have helped Democrats? Because I was listening to a lot of voices, but, probably it wasn't done at a time it should have been done. What is the mood like when it comes to the campaign of the Democrats?
Well, without a doubt, the assassination attempt on Donald Trump has completely changed the calculation for congressional Democrats. I was on Capitol Hill before I came here to Milwaukee, reporting, talking to lawmakers who had some concerns about Biden's candidacy. There was some growing sense that they needed to replace him with another candidate. That has absolutely changed now. This is too uncertain of a moment overall in the United States. The sense is that the attention is now on Milwaukee, on the Republicans and how they handle this. And the discussion about President Biden for now is on the back burner. It is set aside.
Right. Mr. Barai, how do you see this, the campaign and the fallout of this assassination attempt on, Mr. Trump? Because clearly the way the country seems to have responded to this, I was hearing multiple voices while people have been talking about the need for calm and peace. I also, heard Ian Bremer talk to my colleague Myra Shakil, where he said that the response should have been like 9/11, but it's more like what we saw in the Capitol Hill violence. How would you assess the reactions coming from the society that have emerged from this incident? Are they also divided when it comes to criticizing or condemning this form of violence?
Well, it's good that both the parties and the officials have condemned this. I hope that those people who are peddling fake narratives or exaggerated narratives, they will tone down their temperature and try to behave and talk about what are the political differences, what are the policy differences, and try to seek their votes in name of policy differences rather than individual character assassination. The Indian Americans have soundly condemned any attempt on any political candidate, whether it is Trump or anybody else, in trying to assassinate or physical violence that takes place.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Barai. We also have Ramesh Kapoor, who's the Finance Vice Chair of the Democratic National Committee, and he'll also be attending the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. We also have Dr. Sampath Shivangi, who's a delegate to the Republican Convention in Milwaukee. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Mr. Kapoor, I have followed your work even when the caste debate was going on in California. In fact, you had requested for the use of veto power. Tell us, how is the Indian, American community looking at, this attack on Trump? Because, while under Mr. Trump, we of course had a good time. It was under President Biden that, Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister of India, was also given he was accorded a state visit, and we saw this whole red carpet being this welcome that he enjoyed in US is something that Indians carry with a lot of pride. So what is the Indian American community thinking right now, sir?
Well, I guess I don't know what I haven't talked to anybody, but they are, of course, conspiracy theories are flying around, and it doesn't make sense with this theory. My analysis is that when you start going into the mud, okay. Which is what the Republican Party has done consistently, where they have really put in violence constantly, and then it has come to the roost now, in the situations. So my solution is, where do we go from here? Okay, my solution is very simple. We had a crisis at one time. During Nixon's time, we had a problem in the United States. So how do you heal? I want the solution instead of talking about the problems that are there. And my solution is basically, and my recommendation to the president is, I think he should pardon Trump completely. All right. And that's the only thing that will heal the nation. And then later on, pardon his son. Okay. and we move on in that way, because the courts have not touched this situation. It's like a Swiss cheese now. There are holes in all the cases that are now. So my solution is to pardon after the convention, pardon Trump, and then later on pardon, and that will heal the country a little more. All right, and then the next solution is, then we have to decide. Then, as delegates, have to decide, where do we move? Do we keep the president on the ticket, or do we move on to the vice president Kamala Harris, so he can keep his legacy, or do we have a delegate selection in Chicago? So I look at solutions, okay, instead of finger pointing. The thing is done. Let's move on, and that's what my suggestion is that we should do. And I've recommended to the president to do that. All right. So let's see if he listens to my suggestions.
Right. Dr. Sampath, the attack happened hours before the Republican convention, where, finally Mr. Trump is expected to take up the mantle of being the official Republican candidate. Is Mr. Trump poised to benefit from a sympathy wave in this election, or do you think that this is something that only has polarized the nation further?
Yes, it was very unfortunate that somebody tried to shoot in a public meeting. It happened in India. Mahatma Gandhi died because of, somebody, a crazy man went and shot him. But I think it was lucky for Americans and for American living Indians that Trump survived. He had hardly any injuries, some injury on his ear. He's already in Milwaukee, where I am. So he's back to normalcy, at least physically. It takes time to heal mentally and otherwise. We are hoping that President Biden's speech was very appropriate, very magnificent speech he made. He united Americans. I hope that will continue and we won't have any issues. Actually, as mentioned, we were told that vice presidential nomination will be done tomorrow, that is Tuesday evening, and I am attending the entire convention. So I think we are a few Indians in the Republican Party. I am there for the last 48 years in the party. So I have some say. I'm a delegate, possibly only one from Indian American side. So we will make sure that we have a dinner with President Trump on Thursday evening. We'll definitely meet and try to console him and the Democratic group so that America lives like one. Maybe the whole world, has some kind of patch-up work to be done. I think we welcome that spirit, and we'll continue to flourish and do well with the Indian